There's
Are you
no...
all ready for some fun?
Fuck yeah.
Heck
Yes.
yeah.
Am I ever?
So,
Hello, Waterdeep Dragon.
last time, you all had a little bit of fun, had a few discussions. Sadly, your companion Bing tried one of Odie's experimental dishes, and has now been indisposed with tummy trouble. And this is just the blatant excuse we're using because Sephi unfortunately cannot join us for today because things suck. So, instead we have our party of 4 who are chasing down a lead they got from the locksmith, leading them towards an old abandoned mill. Not mill. Windmill. There we are. That's the word.
It was formerly a windmill, now it's an apartment complex.
Yeah. It seems to have been requisitioned by some of the less fortunate members of the
Society.
Yeah, that word. I know English words.
It
So-
is funny. I am the foreigner. I use English word. I'm joking here, of course.
Yeah, so you studied English. I just am naturally bad at it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, we will go with that. Yes. Yes.
All right. So let's bring you in. It's not one of my maps. This is one I borrowed from an unnamed source because I could never find the name of the person who made it. I'm sorry. But here we go. As you approach, the area here is pretty loud with background noise. You hear children's laughs and screams, general noise of playing just echoing off the narrow streets. You hear the bustle of conversation. A few streets over you can hear just the mild, just the tail end of a barker. But for now, these have arrived in front of the windmill. There's a large window here, which has been mostly boarded up. It looked like at one stage there might have been glass there, but that's long gone. There's a door here, here, and here. Okay.
Can't small scale. Oops,
That
sorry, you
music is
first.
a little bit too...
It's a bit intense.
Yeah. Let me just fix that.
Yeah, if anything,
really
we're
quick.
sleuthing right now.
We'll just go with this. There we are.
A little better.
Yeah.
Sounds like we are about to run into a dragon. Otherwise,
No comment.
or worse, 2 dragons. Well,
So then,
Oh, I've never met a dragon.
armed with the information you had, what are you going to do?
No, that was out of character. That was the joke.
I know.
I didn't think we'd actually started the game yet.
Well,
We hadn't.
I gave a scene description and everything.
Right, you were setting it up, but I
You
was
were
waiting for
setting
the
the
what do
scene.
you guys do?
Alright,
Yeah.
so, what do you want to do?
Which one of the looks like probably we should try one of the doors.
Best to start.
Let's take a sneak peek
Mads-
inside first.
Mads... Sorry.
Can small scaly boys scramble up to take a peek inside? Or does he need a boost?
The window is kind of sizable. It probably was used to shuft things in and out. It probably was a doorway at some point, but now it's pretty much... Have you ever seen a doorway that's been converted into a window where they just basically put an
Yes.
extra layer of bricks on each side? It's kind of like
Yeah.
this happened here, and it looks like at some point they put a pane of glass. So someone tried to convert this place into a livable space, but looks like they gave up.
Okay, then.
So it's boarded up, it's pretty narrow, You would have to remove the boards for Rascal to have a chance to squirm through.
But I do see what I see here, right? Just a staircase
see that,
and
yeah.
all that.
You see a staircase in the corridor and a few random boxes.
Don't suppose I can see what's in the boxes.
They are broken and rotten. There's nothing
so.
there except some debris and what you assume might have been a rat's nest in the past.
Ah, fun. Alright, can't tell anything special from here, but seeing as how we got a new key, we should look for anything inside this place that sticks out. I mean, this is a rundown piece of shit, and I'm a former slave.
Trust me, I've seen worse. I've ruined places.
I hear it.
Alright, I'll take your word for it. Suppose we should just make our way inside.
Yeah. Unless we try to break through the boards, it makes sense, yes. To go. Try our new friend the key.
Mads, as usual, is sticking very close to Rascal and looking toward him with a mixture of reverence and
Aww.
This door opens quite handily to your paw.
Neat. Guess we'll wait for Hunter to catch up and then we'll head in.
Sorry.
Hey Hunter, stop thinking about Lord Farewell and get over here.
Oh my
Not that I
gosh,
can
Barry
blame you.
Buddy, I was literally just about to say that.
Great minds think alike.
Evidently pseudo-psychopaths.
Alright,
I have no idea what you mean.
So you open the door.
onwards.
Right?
The door should now be open.
Mads
no,
actually
it is
says-
not.
Mads actually says to Rascal, "Hold up, Rascal. Let me go in first."
I've removed the block. You should be able to go through.
No, can't. It's still.
Oop. There we
Now
go.
it is. All right.
Mads pushes in, and she's like not really being very careful. She's like looking around,
So
like
there
Don't go
is.
too far.
Hang on. Hold still.
Stick with the party.
Stop running around. There's a door
sorry.
directly here. There's a corridor around the corner here, and a door here. There's also
And
a
actually,
door.
I can see someone over there.
Okay, this door is partially open. You hear murmuring from this room down here.
Do you want me to? Do you want to investigate the room down here? There's some people here who might know.
I mean, it couldn't hurt to see what the people who live here know.
Maybe it's,
Might be helpful. I mean, you said it yourself. Gold goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yes, a little bit of gold sometimes loosens tongues and makes friends.
And there we go. We'll try that approach first.
So, what do you do?
Ashwood's basically taking point on this one, I think.
Are you trying to be sneaky, Ashford?
No, I'm just stepping in.
You enter into this room and you see three large tattooed gentlemen currently gathered around this small girl. As you enter the room, one of them kind of turns and looks at you.
Hello, gentlemen. You live in this place?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Well, it is a very long story. We're actually looking for a friend of ours.
Oh, really? And who would that
Yes.
be? You see this
He never
gentleman
gave us.
steps
He never
forward.
gave us. He never gave us his name, unfortunately. But he lost something on the way.
See this fella basically steps forward and lifts the girl off the ground and kind of like pushes her behind him.
I'm here to talk. I'm not here to threaten anyone. And he shows open hands. Look, if you can help us, I am certain there is a little coin available.
Roll persuasion.
And he pulls out 3 gold as he says that.
Not bad.
Yeah.
The men kind of turn and they start muttering to each other. And you can see there's something kind of scattered around on the floor here behind them. If you want, you can roll a perception check to see what it is.
A tiny, scaly boys indulge in that as well.
Sure, you're in the room.
Yeah.
Ashford, you can't see. You're maintaining eye contact with the goons. Rascal, you glance over and you see, kind of piled together, is a few children-level books to teach reading and writing, and you notice that there's this chalkboard that has letters on it, and one of the big thugs holds a yellow chalk, while the little girl seems to have like blue chalk all over her fingers. These guys are teaching this kid how to read.
Aww.
But with that persuasion, the guys kind of turn and say, they sort of mutter to each other, and says, "Yeah, all right. What is it you're looking at now?"
I am looking for someone who's recently lost a key to a place here. Might have actually found it.
A key?
Key, yes.
Only place that's got a locked door is upstairs.
Okay, that is a little bit unusual.
Yeah. I don't know why they bothered to install it. I reckon they're up to something.
Probably. And gentlemen, if I may be so impolite, what were you doing with this young lady? Looks like you have something there.
Ashford, they're
Yes.
teaching her how to write and to read.
Oh.
As soon as Ashford
you're-
started asking questions about the little girl, they basically just kind of crowded around her. It's just like,
I
protective.
am terribly sorry to have interrupted the lesson. I'm so terribly sorry. If I had known, I would have not interrupted you, gentlemen. You can easily tell he's flustered.
Yeah.
Because that's not what he expected, but at the same time he's happy about it.
See, this one here just kind of nods to the one that's closer to you. He nods back and says, alright. Back a minute, sis. Go on, out this way. Back out the way you came and I'll show you where he is. He starts motioning for you to, like, leave the room.
We should probably do as he asks.
Hi, sweetheart. So he basically motions you to go on down the corridor. Back this way.
Okay. Again, sorry that we interrupted your lesson. And he drops 10 gold in that fellow's hand. We will certainly find the way ourselves. You go back to tutoring her. Again, apologies.
As you hand over the money, you see his eyes just light up, and you hear him mutter under his breath, going, "Bloody hell, we'll feed her for weeks." Oh yeah, sure, anytime.
Feed her. Sir, I'm sorry. Did I just hear feed her for weeks?
Yeah. And he like motions back over his shoulder.
Yes, I understand. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. You know what? Take this as well, and he gives him 10 more gold. I think that should help out a little bit.
You see this? He's just in absolute amazement, and he's just standing there now with the gold in his hands, looking at you, going, thanks. If you ever need muscle, give us a call.
Thank you for the offer.
I can't pet you if you run away from me, Lucy. There we are.
I just realised
Again.
the old token is back. Why does it keep doing that? Like, stop it!
I'm not sure.
And I don't care if Mads face bumps with both with both hands.
Sorry, Lucy,
Give me a-
just wanting attention.
Again, my sincere apologies, just stumbling in.
Yeah. You can interrupt any time if you're going to do this again.
It is unfortunate that it's probably not always possible.
Yeah, well, it kind of sucks.
But-
Right, well, I'm gonna get back here.
All right.
Good luck. Try not to make a miss, yeah?
We will certainly try. And again, sorry for interrupting.
And he just closes the door.
All right.
You're one of the good ones, Ashwood.
Well, as soon as he said feed her, to be honest, even I have a soft spot for people.
So if you mentioned it,
Bear with me a minute, I'm just getting some crap out of Lucy's eye.
I didn't.
There you
I mean, you beat me to the punch of all the charity there.
But look,
go.
I had said money can open doors, and in this case, it opens doors for a young girl. So, what can I say?
Definitely, I can get behind that. I didn't know Common myself till a year or so ago. So, she's learning much to the same way I did.
There you
Though
Let
my
us hope-
classroom was a bit cleaner.
Well, given how much that they've got now, maybe they find a way to improve their own teaching situation a little bit at least.
Oh, adorable. Yeah. Come on, let's get you on your pillow.
Anyway, we should probably get moving.
We should, yes. Up here, yeah?
Yes, he pointed up there, upstairs, actually.
Mads already went up.
In Mad's fashion, yes.
Okay.
Hunter, you coming or are you inspecting the rooms?
I
Yeah,
think
just
he
just
said,
pull me along. I'm in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
She got distracted by a rat.
Alright, bear
Okay.
with me a memento, and I'll move you upstairs.
Thank you.
Diddly-loo, diddly-loo, diddly-loo. Pop. Nope, Hunter's not supposed to be in that room. There we are.
Mads goes over and is this something of just decoration or is this something?
Bear with me, and I will explain.
Oh, okay.
So,
Take all the time in the world.
I'm just keeping a wee eye on Lucy there.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she has this, like, whatever is going on with her eye, the inner lid just kind of curls in, so she gets fur in her eye. And because of that, there's a lot of build-up of lubricating gook. And whenever that seeps out of her eye, it kind of like hardens around the fur in her eye, which is like kind of gumming her eye closed, so I've been trying to keep that off and clean. But anyway, aside from little Lucy, as you come up the stairs, you find what remains of an ancient millstone. This is a gigantic, two gigantic circular rocks piled on top of each other. It looks like the mechanism and the machinery that once turned it has rotted and collapsed down. So now there's just a massive pile of debris in the middle of the room. This is technically rough terrain. There's a door here, here, and here.
Any
Any
of them,
look newer than
obviously.
the West?
What was that, Rascal?
Yeah, do any of them look newer than the rest?
The doors all do... actually, you know what? Roll me a perception check.
That is. Hang on. Character sheet's messy. There we go. Perception. Perception. Ah! Oh, wait. No, I'll save my luck points.
Okay. You cannot see past the skirt of your lady love, unfortunately. That's blocking.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, are you trying to open that door?
Sure.
Alright.
Oh, wait. Better listen. Don't want to barge in on anyone, considering we know this place is occupied.
Roll another perception check.
Alright, please be better this time. Yeah, I'll take a 14.
Okay. You hear a lot of clacking, cooing,
I have no issue with
and
being able to buy it if you want,
the
or
feathery...
game stuff as long as it's not too obnoxious.
What's the... I'm trying to think of how to describe the sound, but all I can really think of is just the flap of wings.
Sounds like we got a sort of aviary on the other side of this door.
Like, you know that almost weird rubbery noise that a pigeon makes whenever it flaps its wings?
Yeah.
That.
What about this one down here?
Roll another perception.
That's straight 10.
You hear the murmur of two voices.
But I can't really make anything out.
Nope.
Not with a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right, there are a couple voices on the other side of that door. Can't make anything out. And there was one more door, yeah, or was that it?
It was over here, right in front of Mads.
Boop, boop, boop. Another perception?
Sure.
17.
You hear from that room, absolute silence.
Okay. Actually, I want to try this one first.
Which one, sorry?
I want to open up this one first.
Okay. You open up the door. Let me just go to the dynamic lighting.
And what's the qualified
Grab the
thing?
door free. God damn it. Grab it! There we go. Don't judge me. Alright.
I have to fit in
You
it.
look into the
No.
room. It is pretty much empty, but there is another door down here. Rascal,
Oops.
before you go any further, would you be so kind as to make me a dexterity saving throw?
The place is crumbling apart, falling apart.
I'm tiny though.
You are. Okay. You go to step across the floor. The wood kind of bounces at your step, but it's okay. You're a light little... and you're falling.
Oh no, flashbacks to the sewers!
You crash through the floor and land heavily. Where's my dice?
Why did this happen to me?
the floor
I'm
below.
tiny!
Rascal, are you alright?
Take
It
7
looks
points
like he
of bludgeoning damage.
looks like he
Ooh.
took a shortcut downstairs.
So,
Mad rushes
for
down the
reference
stairs. Sorry.
now, the floor of this room, except for around the walls, in here now, except for around the walls, the floor is almost entirely gone through. Peering down, you can just see Rascal in a similarly shaped room in the floor below, just kind of sprawled out, surrounded by wood. Mads runs downstairs.
Yeah, Mads runs to go get to him where he is.
Don't think you know where I am.
You run downstairs, and you know that he should be somewhere north of you whenever you reach the bottom of the stairs. But
So
when
she
you come
rushes
down,
down. Sorry, go ahead.
there's no door on this wall. There is one down here.
Yeah, she's rushing for that. She moves over to that door and tries to open it.
Okay. It opens without much resistance. You just fling the door open.
Yeah, she flings it open hard.
And as you do, you see... Come on, Specky, into the other room. You see a few people basically turning and looking at you in absolute horror, while another two were basically coming over towards this door. Their hand is on the handle as if to investigate the loud noise. And they're all four of them are just looking at you.
Mad calls out, Lady Madeline of Circourse, professional detective on emergency business.
Can I try and open the door from my side?
You'd have to get up, but yeah, you could.
Oh yes, I will use halfway movement to get up. Good thing we're not in combat, so that doesn't mean anything.
True. It's
Does
like,
Mads have time to say anything
you are
more?
stiff, you are sore, you grope blindly, and the door just kind of falls open, bumping into this gentleman, and he quickly steps away to clear the way.
Oh, sorry for the intrusion, sir.
They're just kind of looking at you. He's like, what happened? Who are you people?
I just
I
told you.
fell from the floor upstairs.
He like
Everyone
peers
remain
into
calm.
the room
This is my
over your
husband.
head.
She says, everyone remain calm. This is my husband. There was a little accident upstairs. We're on official business. Everything is
I tell
fine.
you not to go into that room. That floor's been rotten for ages.
Nope. No, they did not.
Look, right, there's only one room that's free in this place, and it's upstairs, but it's infested with pigeons. You clear that out, you can stay. You don't cause a mess. But everywhere down here is claimed.
Alright, no worries. I've already got a home of my own, but thank you for the hint.
Sweetie, are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. I mean, considering I nearly died the other day, and this sure beats falling in sewage, so yeah.
Mads
Bit of a
looks over
sore
the
back, but I'm good.
Mads looks over the other strangers and says, "Our life is full of adventures."
A bit too full if you ask me,
Sure it
but hey,
sounds.
we'll get a break soon.
It looks like you almost had a break there.
Won't be the first or last time.
Well,
Come on.
You clear out now, yeah?
Aye, we will, but first things first. Come here, little piggy. I will extract a single platinum piece from Rudolph and hand it to the gent for the trouble.
You see everybody's eyes just kind of like bulge and look at this. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, right. Fair enough. Generous kobold lad.
You're welcome. Let's go, honey. We've troubled these people long enough.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you for your time and attention.
Right, that was the fucking weirdest thing that's ever happened in this place.
Right, before anyone gets any ideas, fly away home, little piggy. There we go. So, for the sake of brevity, can you put us back upstairs?
Sure. Hunter and Ashford, you were just kind of like watching this exchange through the hole in the ceiling.
Well, okay. The floors in there are rotten as shit.
As if the millstone is not enough of an indicator. But they said something about pigeons infesting one room.
Yeah, that would be this one, I believe.
You spoke about the aviary, so that's. I mean, if they would probably appreciate it if we cleaned the room out because one more tenant could fit in. But right now
He says, "Oh, sorry."
right now we have a little bit more pressing matters.
And Mads looks at the others and says, "If I may."
Oh, you want to have a crack at the pigeons?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you are a druid, so have at it.
This is my stock in trade. And so, Mads does this,
Yes!
Okay.
and she calls out, which translates in Pigeon to, I have news from outside. The cats are coming.
Roll persuasion?
I thought you were going for something else, but sure.
Look, at least she's not saying the roof is on fire.
Okay. So you say that, but as you finish the spell, your ears are just assailed with random snippets of conversation. Yeah, like, I like bread. I found a seed. Ooh. Little old lady has bread. I like bread. That's about the caliber of conversation you can expect from a lot of pigeons.
They're ignoring me. They're talking about bread.
I like
And
bread.
then Mads calls out again, louder. This place is danger. There are cats here. Big cats.
For persuasion again?
Out
Okay.
of
And then
character,
it
I
doesn't
point
work.
at Hunter.
That's probably who Mads is going for. Very big cat.
Yeah, I know there's bigger chance for failure. Oh, what's happening with my dice?
Okay. Some of the pigeons turn and look in the general direction of Hunter, and some do scatter out at the window, but there are dozens of pigeons. Oh, excuse me, in here. A lot of them
Oh,
seem
did
to
did they open the door?
Yeah, the door's open.
Okay, then
You see that there is like an open window, similar to the one downstairs, except this one hasn't been boarded up. And there is a large hole in the roof above it. A lot of the pigeons are just kind of chilling in the rafters. There's a lot just pecking around the random debris and detritus around the room.
So
There's a
here's a
few
question.
nests spotted about with little eggs. But mostly this just looks like it's a pigeon roost. There's lots of pigeons in here.
So here's a question for you, D. Like, are you conveying what's going on to the party? Like, are you taking a moment to
Yes.
explain?
She just like I was saying. She's saying, ignoring me. They're talking about bread.
Well, have you considered, like, maybe you'll attract more flies with honey than vinegar? I mean, don't we have bread? Like, we have rations. Do we have some bread?
That's good thinking. That's good
There
thinking.
would be some bread in your rations, yeah.
Excellent.
She says, we can give you bread if you leave the room for a while.
Oh,
Do
we
you
can do
hold
better
out
than
the
that, Buff
bread?
Game. Buff Game, I just want to mention, we can try to get some information from them in exchange for bread. I mean, they're pigeons, so they probably don't know much, but it's worth a try.
Does Rascal say that?
Yeah, basically.
Then
Do
Mads
you
goes,
hold out
sorry.
the bread?
No.
Yes.
Oh God!
Are you trying to be
Okay.
swarmed by them?
Rascal, you hold
Oh,
out the
no.
bread.
Yeah.
And like that scene in Finding Nemo, all the heads just turn and look at you.
Mine?
Yeah,
Bread?
pretty much. Like,
Mm.
bread?
Bre-
Bread?
Yep. Yep.
Bread?
Bread.
Rascal, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no!
Oh, this is fun.
Oh,
Okay, not this time.
Oh, Lord.
This time I'm using a luck point. So I roll a d20. There, I'll
Come
take the
on, roll
15. That's better.
Alright, so you held up the bread to Mads to convey your plan, but the pigeons all just locked onto it. And this massive mass of feathers just engulfed the area where Rascal used to be. You managed to get back out of the way, and now there's just this clump of pigeons just here pecking at your bread. The bread is now in several dozen pieces from being pecked. Some of the pigeons are fighting over it.
It must be New York.
Making a god awful noise in here.
They must be New
Mad
York
was
pigeons.
irritated. She says... Sorry, go ahead.
I just hope they know that this is not necessarily the healthiest for them.
Oh,
And she
bread.
says...
Where
They were
can you
talking-
pigeons?
She says... Mad says... In pigeon, she coos at them delicately and says... I guess I was wrong about the cats being dangerous. And then she says, what is this place?
One of the pigeons just kind of looks up to you. He's got this big chunk of bread in his beak.
Is
He's like, "It is home. Here's where we sleep. This is where we stay.
is it
where
just
we lay
you?"
our eggs. Why is this bird Cyril?
Could be worse. It could be worse. It could be Binksy.
Mads is
Funnily
like
enough, there is a
thinking
little
hard.
pigeon with the tiny jester hat. Hello!
She's thinking
What can I
hard
do
and then
you
she looks
for?
over. Sorry.
Not joking.
The pigeon
Mads
that
is
answered
thinking
you
of-
is immediately distracted again with other pigeons trying to steal his chunk of bread.
Mads is thinking hard and then she looks over at Rascal. What should I ask them?
The key, specifically. It's shiny and new. It might mean something to them.
Oh, and then she says, oh, can I have it?
I presume Ashwood has the key, right?
Ashford, can you give me the key?
I don't have the key.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Bing
did
had
we
the
lose
key,
the key?
but he handed it
Ah,
over before he was struck down.
Yeah.
I would say he would have given it to Ashford.
Okay,
All right. Here you go, Matt. Here you go, Mad.
Mads says, do any of you know what this is? There's more bread if you do.
I like bread. Bread? Who's got bread? Here's the bread.
She's got
Oh, there's
bread.
the bread.
Kind of
Mm.
turns it in the light like she's on Home Shopping Network and is like, does this mean anything to any of you?
A few of the pigeons kind of look up at you and look around. It's like, it's nice, that's shiny. Maybe we could put that in the nest. That would look nice with the other shinies. Ooh. And then they
Ooh.
just devolve into conversations about shinies.
Can I see the shinies?
There are shinies. They're over
I'm
there.
not gonna take them. I just want to. I was
And
hoping you'd show them off for me.
then I kind of look into the room, and you could have a little look around with an investigation to see what's there.
Yes, Mads is going to investigate. She's gonna find pieces of Alia, isn't she?
Oh, God.
God.
Not necessarily.
Alia's shiny.
Alright.
Oh,
So,
no, Ollie's high.
you start looking around. There's the nests are pretty much in this area here, and you see the shinies. They are little bits of tin, copper, wire, nails, a few screws and bolts. You find a few silver and copper pieces.
She's not gonna
Mostly
take them.
it's things like twine, bits of scraps of cloth. Not really much there.
These are very impressive shinies.
Yeah, we worked hard for them. My bread! They're like fighting amongst themselves now for the bread.
She looks back at the others and says, "There's just bits and pieces of nothing. I don't
So
think
the pigeons were a bust, huh?
I think so."
Can
And they
Scaly
have-
Boy try to take a look inside?
She gets back out of the way and she says,
Sure.
She says, "There's babies in there. I don't think we can move."
That's fine. Rascal just wants to take a look around to be sure.
This is my husband.
Oh,
Be nice
never
to
mind.
him.
It's a husband. Okay, Rascal, you peer
Mate.
in, and you see lots and lots of tasty eggs.
Oh, wisdom saving throw.
Nope, back.
Well, any
Okay, there's
unusual
nothing in there.
any unusual stones you could see, Mads?
Nothing of any note.
No,
It's
you
all
wouldn't
pretty-
have seen anything like that.
All right, it
I'm
it was
tempted
worth the shot. Looks like we have to deal with the folks behind this door. Do the pigeons
No.
know anything about their neighbors?
Okay, let me ask him one last question before we give you the next bit of bread. Bread. Do you guys know anything about the place next door? Anything about
Not
your
me.
neighbors?
The people who used to live there, they used to give us food. These guys don't. They're mean.
Ah.
Oh, that makes it's important to have food to take care of your baby.
Yeah. It's a
She
different
looks
pigeon
over
that
at
answers you
Rascal.
every time, by the way.
Yeah, I figured. She looks over at Rascal and she says, "You know what would be great? Thank you." And she says, she gets some bread from her ration, crumbles it up, and then throws it around the room.
Alright. The pigeons just scatter back into the room. The bit of bread that Rascal dropped here, that is gone. There's not a crumb remaining. But as you throw the
Yeah.
bread back in here, all the pigeons just flap and back in, nearly just knocking Hunter over. But now the pigeons are confined to this room again.
And Matt says to Rascal, "You know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should help the other people get new places, and then this whole for the pigeon."
Sorry, do you cut out there?
Oh, she says, "You know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should get rid of the humans here and give them a place to live and make this whole windmill for pigeons. A pigeon house in the middle of the city."
There
Yeah.
will always be people who want to move here.
I mean, we
You
could buy out the property and renovate it, maybe.
For the pigeons, right?
Not just the pigeons, but we could get a dedicated aviary for them, or something like that.
Yes.
I'm not sure how these things work.
She claps and says, "Yes, let's put that on the list, okay?"
Oh, I'm certain we would be able to find someone who would give them the ability to work for their own food instead of having to rely on others. But then again, hey, they are birds.
What are you
Let's
talking
make them-
about employing the pigeons?
I am talking about training them to be carrier pigeons.
I thought we were talking about making, like, low-cost housing for the less fortunate.
Yes, that's what Matt was.
That as well. But
Why
Matt
not
is
both?
looking
both?
right in Ashford's eyes and says, "Let's not make them part of the economic complex, okay?"
And we should not run before being able to walk. Let's get our
Yeah.
tavern running before we think about such
You
things.
see that
Right,
Ashford
but
is
yeah.
running on a
Fun
platform
idea.
of jobs for pigeons, but
I'm sorry, what?
Ashford is trying to get jobs for working class pigeons.
No.
But Ashford doesn't want you to work. How much do you know about him? He's taking the bread. Taking
That's
the
over.
bread now.
Most of the pigeons have this little blue band around their neck, little blue collar pigeons.
Look at Ashford.
I am all for unions for pigeons. I don't know what the problem is.
Can we afford even one more year of Ashford? How much do we really know?
I am not running for. I am not running for mayor. Okay.
He opened a tavern, he says, but it burned to the ground.
Oh my god!
I
Pigeons
did not
around the
open-
town holding little signs saying they're striking for fair wages.
God damn it. Okay, can we please?
Yeah, I
can we
believe
please
at
stop
some
with-
point we were playing D&D.
not medieval economy simulator.
Pigeons of Catan.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right, so I believe Mads would convey the information regarding the folk in here that they aren't the usual tenants.
Yes. She says, some new people moved in. The pigeons don't like them, and I don't like them now either.
That's something we should keep in mind. So
They said that the pigeons gave them, or the old tenants gave them food, but the new ones are mean. She says with her eyes narrowing at the door.
Roll insight for me, Mads.
Yeah. God, Mads.
Mean for a pigeon means they just don't give them food.
yeah.
Mads figures that, but she's upset. I will say, just so you know, she's deliberately upselling to make us dislike the people more.
All right. So.
Well, we shouldn't treat the word of pigeons as gospel, but we'll definitely be a bit cautious.
I trust them more than bureaucrats.
Fair enough, sweetie.
Cult of pigeons.
Let's check that door. So she moves along with
I'm fairly
Rascal.
certain you will find a lock there.
As you approach this doorway, the wood is old. However, there is the glint of a shine of new metal there. Under the latch.
Right, so is there any point rolling another perception check to have another listen, or like, is it obvious there are people still in there?
You could roll a perception check.
They haven't come. I mean, they haven't come out.
That's true.
The room is silent.
Okay. I don't hear anything now. I did earlier.
Everyone, move aside. Let me.
What do you have planned?
To see if there's a lock.
I mean, we know there's a lock, don't we?
Oh! I didn't hear you say that.
It's
Sorry.
practically head level for Rascal. You can see it.
I mean, it stands out a little bit like a sore thumb.
Mads hands the key over to Rascal.
Thank you.
Let me go first. Let me go in first, everyone.
Well, hang on. Let's talk about this. Ashward, shall we knock first, or just take the initiative? There might be people in here still.
I would, in this case, I mean, they're certainly grave robbers.
She says, shall Lady Madeline try?
I
Knocking?
would suggest, well, if Lady Madeline wants to try knocking, I have not really an objection.
How about you, sweetie?
Just be careful. I'll trust you with this.
Oh, all right. So she motions for Ashford to move out of the way, and then she...
I mean, the door's right
The
there.
door is over here, so
sorry.
I don't know why you want it
Sorry.
to be in the corner, but okay. Nobody puts baby in the corner, but apparently everybody puts Ashford in the corner.
She knocks. Is the gentleman in the house home?
We told you before, we're not buying any of your homemade crap.
Oh, I'm not offering anything homemade. My name is Lady Madeline of Surcourse. I'm a professional detective on an
Never heard of
important
you.
official assignment.
Never heard of you. A bugger off.
I'm afraid that's not an option. I simply must speak with you.
What do you want, woman?
She knocks again. For you to open the door.
No!
This is official business.
Unofficial on whose authority?
On mine. She's like giggling, kind of like.
She's enjoying it.
Yeah, she's loving this.
Bloody
On my authority. Don't make me knock a third time or you will live to regret it.
And you hear a second voice in the back of the room. Look, just ignore the loony, alright? Yeah, you're right. And you hear footsteps moving away from the door.
Mads relays that information to them and says they're going to ignore me. I think that at this point we need to come in. Very well then, she says, and gestures for the key back from Rascal.
Passes it over.
Mads tries to open the door.
Okay. You slip the lock in and it turns. Quite cleanly, actually. It's a brand new, well-oiled lock. It slips around with a satisfying and smooth click. Hello, Chi.
And Mads promptly opens the door, or tries to anyway.
It should now be open, and there's it up.
And she
Give me back my
steps
dice.
in. She steps in and says, "Very well, if that's how it has to be, then."
Hey! How'd you get in here?
By my authority. Now,
She picked
If
the
the two
lock,
of you were-
obviously.
she holds up a key.
One of them just like he's seeing like pat his back pocket, as the other just kind of slowly turns and glares at him.
And at that point, Mads, she says, "As I said, my name is Lady Madeline of Circle, and I am a professional detective."
That pronunciation.
A professional
Professional.
detective. Professional.
Labor
Professional
upon
detective.
every syllable.
Yes. And she says, "And I'm on official business for a case. We're trying to track down the location of a missing child." Deception?
Yep. Look, we ain't seen no kids, aside from the ones downstairs. But I'm pretty sure they already belong to people downstairs.
Mads says, looks over to Rascal and says, and then she looks over to Rascal and then looks over to Ashworth, looks over to Hunter, and then back to them and says, puts her hands on her hips and says, "We believe it's that the child may have been kidnapped as a result of theft of important property from a sacred location."
Do you say sacred or secret?
Sacred.
And they kind of look at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we don't know what you're on about.
Let's try another avenue of questioning, gentlemen. Did you move into this domicile recently?
Maybe.
Would you mind telling us how recently?
I don't really see how that's any of your business.
Well, it might.
And quite frankly, I don't remember inviting you in. And it glares at Rascal.
Okay, well, the lady did say we had urgent business, and we have the key to your property.
Hold up a moment. I am asking a question for GM.
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, when they snap at the moment they snap at Rascal.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what, oh boy. A bear!
Look, if I were you, I would answer a few questions.
As soon as the bear appears, the two of them just like back up against the wall going, "Bloody hell!"
Look, she gets like that when she's really angry.
Should have been cooperative, friends.
Oh, hey,
So,
look, I'm honest, we don't know anything about a child, alright?
well,
We were
it's
just doing what we were
interesting
told in the
as
graveyard.
she said. Pardon.
We were just doing what we were told, alright?
And what were you told?
We're getting bits and pieces.
At that, the bear gets closer. She approaches. She wants to get right on top
Keep
of
it
him,
away!
mouth open.
Keep it away!
Ah!
Like the two of them
Mads.
like up against the
Wait.
wall now.
Mads, if you chew him up now, they won't be able to help us.
Ah!
Look, it's this guy, alright? His name's Lossa. Lossa Mirclough. He's hired us to acquire certain bits and pieces from the graveyard, alright?
From the graveyard. Did you also come across a little bit of a rat? Anywhere there, maybe?
Oh, yeah, we were there last night, and there was this random rat, and it had something shiny, and he kicked it. He like points to this man here. It exploded. It was the darndest thing. Just
And
poof.
what happened with the with the rock it was carrying?
We thought it was magical, so we gave it to Lossa for a little bit of extra money.
And where could we find Mr. Lasser?
He's got himself a little catacomb place. You can find it in the trades wards. There's an old shop. It used to sell wigs or something. It's called Dandy Mops. There's an entrance there. I swear we're telling you the truth. This one's like he's practically crying. This guy's just pressed against the wall.
Mads sniffs and then intentionally drools bear slime, just staring at them both.
Yes, she didn't have her breakfast yet.
Well, there's a lot of pigeons in the next room.
Well, pigeons are not up to her taste.
Look, I told you all we know, right?
Well,
Lossa just wants pretty body parts for something. I don't know what he does with them.
Body parts.
body parts, and you took a few shiny things as well.
He pays extra for full skeletons.
At mention of that,
Oh boy.
Mads looks over at Rascal, and I mean, I don't know whether it would be insight or not, because she's a bear, and then she looks back and just narrows her bear eyes at, as best a bear can, at the two of them.
Lady Madeline, I'm fairly certain these two individuals are no longer going to work for someone who is most likely a necromancer.
Yeah, being like, a job's a job. Like,
Mads looks again at Rascal, and then back at the men.
Okay. Above game, what are you trying to convey? I will roll an insight if I have to, but I want to know what you're getting at.
I'd like you to roll an insight first.
Okay. Where is that stat? 21.
Yeah, you can probably get her intention. She wants to eat them.
No, that's not actually it.
Oh, go on.
1 second, I'm sending it to you so you can decide how much he figures. That's what's going on.
Okay. You get the feeling that all her gruffness and all, it's been for show. There's no bloodthirst in her eyes. She doesn't want to kill them, but if Rascal says so, she will.
Rascal gives Mads a pat on her mighty flank and just shakes his head. You scared him enough.
Mads turns back into human. At that point, Mads turns back into human and stares into the eyes of both and says, "Thank you for your continued cooperation with this investigation."
Bloody hell.
Also, you should.
Staring
Also, you should probably not drop your keys off everywhere.
And she says, "And remember, I'm going to be watching the two of you from the shadows."
Can we have that key back? They're expensive to replace.
She says, "This is part of the ongoing investigation. Upon its completion, I may return to give it back to you."
Mads.
And then
They have given Madeline, Lady Madeline, they have given us quite a bit of pertinent information. I think it is.
Okay, Mads then takes the key, drags it across her tongue, and then hands it out to them.
This one kind of like does that little disgusted look and like, just takes it from you like from between his thumb and forefinger, and then backs up immediately.
She says, "You shouldn't catch anything too contagious."
Oh my god.
Oh god, he drops it. He drops the key there.
And then she does a flourish of her skirt, and then she turns and looks at Hunter and, "Come along, Hunter." And she walks out.
So when Madeline leaves the room, this guy just slides to the floor.
Come here, little piggy. And I'm gonna give them a platinum too. Till you can find. Let me. Till you can find more suitable employment. Look,
Yeah.
you can do better than working for a necromancer.
Yeah, I think the little red guy's right. Yeah, I think he might be.
Rascal. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Potentially having a few people assist our become part of our crew.
It depends.
For a second there, I thought you were going to try and get them to look after the pigeons.
Well,
Maybe later.
would be, that is still a possibility, but say. What do you think?
I'm
Ah.
sorry, I just got a mental image of... Do you remember that episode of Hey Arnold with the pigeon man?
Yes!
At the very end, he just opens his coat and all the pigeons grab these little rings and fly away with him. I just had a mental image of you training the pigeons to do that to Rascal. I will fly!
And then the fucking Griffin Riders will flag me down for flying without a permit! Because this is fucking Waterdeep!
What?
Yes.
Just a mental image I had. But anyway, sorry, go on what you were saying.
Well, we'll see, Ashford. Depends. What are your skill sets, boys?
They both kind of look at each other. Digging? Not
Outside of
really
digging.
what you would call skilled labour. Hunter, roll me a quick intelligence check.
Oh, give him something for me to do. Okay.
Yep.
I had not opened my character sheet yet, so give me a second.
Gasp.
And
You
you said an intelligence check, right?
Yep. You remember Roland mentioning that he needed unskilled labour.
Ooh.
Oh, I think I know a place they can go.
Ah, would this be the Fair Lord Fairwind?
Might be. Gentlemen, what are your... any history of criminal activity?
They both kind of look at each other.
You mean besides the grave robbery?
Nothing
Well, I mean-
aside from that, no.
I mean, we could just say that they were doing that under duress from a necromancer.
Yeah, threatened us and all. Very scary. Threatened to stick a bear on us. Terrifying.
Can Mads hear all this?
Yeah.
She
We're
says,
not very subtle.
she calls back and says, "I'm right here."
And we hope you stay out there.
She says, "I will if you feed the pigeons."
Pigeons? What's she on about? I don't know. Just nod and say yes. Yes!
She's a druid.
She says, "There are pigeons next door to you. They're hungry. Feed them."
I
Hang on.
So Matt, I do have a better idea. If you're willing to turn your life around and, you know, live someplace better than this. I know of a tabaxi who runs a textile industry who is in need of laborers.
They look at each other and they like mutter very softly to each other, and he goes, "Go on."
Well, you don't have to have any experience for this. I'm sure whatever he'll need of you, that he'll train you on. And she proceeds to tell them where he's located and approximately what they would earn.
They seem interested. They seem to discuss it amongst themselves for a bit, and then they turn and look at Hunter and basically say thanks. They'll go and look into it tomorrow.
And I will warn you, should anything unsavory happen,
Well, we know where you live.
yes. First of all, I know where you live, and even if I can't find you at this place, I will find you eventually.
We still have Lady Madeline. You know Lady Madeline. She's got a very good nose.
Yeah, we noticed it when it was pressed against my face.
Yes.
Look, if we get we'll give honest labour for an honest job, alright?
All right.
Fair enough.
There's not very much of that in the city at the minute.
But as we've noticed,
So, yeah. Please leave.
Yes, I think we're done here. Thank you for your assistance, gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of your life. Hopefully necromancer free.
That would be
Stay out of trouble.
Ooh, you're so commanding, Big Benny.
Eh.
And Ashwood closes the door behind them.
As you close the door, it clicks shut, you hear, "Fucking hell, I could have died!"
Well then, I think we're pretty much done here.
Yes, after all, we now have a new lead.
Before we go, though, as Rascal peers in at the pigeons, Hunter, do you think I should give Lord Fairwind a heads up about his new employees coming tomorrow?
if you could, please.
Well, the way
Oh.
Hunter would have explained it, as Lord Fairwind would have mentioned this as well, anyone who wants to work for them would have to speak to a foreman at the farm. So you basically have set them to a foreman who's probably like 2 steps below Roland.
Okay, so shouldn't really worry about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
They'll go talk
Saves
to
me a
a foreman,
second level spell slot.
then it's up to the foreman.
Additional hand.
Okay, the foreman's got it covered. So, move on, shall we? Let's try and
Yes.
find this. Check my notes. This Losser Miracloth. In the trade ward. Entrance to a catacomb found in Dandelion, wasn't it? It's a wig shop. It was Dandelion, right, Jonas?
Roll me a history check.
Did it? I was just there!
It was either Dandelion or Dandruff. His voice was a little shaky.
Dandy Mops. That's it.
Dandy Mops. Dandy Mops. That's it. Just scratches out Dandelion with his quill and writes in Dandy Mops instead. Into his a notebook.
To be honest, that sounds more like a cleaning up place.
Dandelion is what Dura is. Anyway,
Wow.
is there anything else you would like to do in the here before you leave?
Mads is good.
You know, I noticed you, Rascal, looking a little bit at the stuffed beholder.
Oh, the gnome shop. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was suspicious about it last time, but with all this business with gazers
Yeah.
and the pretty tight link I feel they have with the Xanathar Guild, it just seems like it might be connected as well.
All right.
That's really good thinking, sweetie.
You
I
want to
mean,
go there? You want to go and see if he has anything pink available?
all I want to do is go by that shop, cast detect magic, and see if there's anything odd about the stuffed beholder.
I'm fairly
Ooh.
certain. Fairly certain you will detect a lot of magic in that place. He has a lot of magical knickknacks.
Oh, I'm looking for something in particular.
Yes, you're looking for a beholder.
You want to go to a magical shop and use detect magic. Okay, that sounds.
Yes, it's a magic store, and you.
Okay, do you need me to spell it out for you?
No, I'm fairly certain I know what you mean.
Gazers transmit what they see to their master.
Yes, master is either the beholder or someone betrothed to the beholder.
Okay. And I have a suspicion. Words are hard. I have a suspicion that stuffed beholder might be enchanted. So it's probably also transmitting images to the beholder.
That is a
So
little
that's
bit
just-
of a leap in logic, but it is definitely.
How is it a
worth
leap in logic?
Why would a stuffed beholder transmit to a beholder?
Ashword?
Yes.
Ashword?
Yes.
Magic?
Yes.
Magic is...
Yes. All right. All right. I mean, it is a theory that is worth investigating.
Why do I suddenly now get the it's a long story. Never mind.
Well, don't tell me you're getting the feeling that this is a pointless endeavor, but
No,
okay.
I just real quick summarize. In the Aragon book series, eventually the rebel's daughter takes over control, and she's having to deal with magic so much she starts using it as a curse word.
Yes. So sometimes magic is a curse.
Alright. So, user heading towards the shop.
Yes.
Yep. We're heading there.
Mads is looking a little fidgety, but she's
So, use head
she's
back out in the rain.
Is there like an alley before we get there? I want to a ritual cast detect magic without, causing a scene.
I'm sorry, I keep yawning.
No worries.
Yeah, there's a few alleys not that far away from the shop. There's actually one directly opposite the shop.
Perfect.
So you duck down behind a chimney breast and cast yourself detect magic.
Yeah.
On description only.
Yeah, they changed how it looks. Funny Roll20 shenanigans.
Yeah, they made a few updates.
Yeah, let's hope it now works a bit better. Ha
So, you cast detect magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then step out of the alley. As you step out of the alley, the shop, or at least the front of the shop, comes into range. And you immediately sense magic.
Yeah.
You detect an aura of divination magic around
I
the
fucking knew it. Mm-hmm.
As you step closer, you get a few tiny pings, mostly along the lines of vague enchantments. Nothing that would be essentially useful. It'd be more like aesthetic enchantments. There we are. That's the word I was looking for.
I was about to say, don't tell me he has another ring of boons.
No. Mostly you can just sense things that are just aesthetically enchanted. So
they have the proper color.
that certain items that make little magical lights and things like that. There's nothing there that would be useful other than a novelty. The only thing that is concerning is the divination magic in the eye of the stuffed beholder.
Does Rascal relate this to us?
When we're back in the alley, yes.
When we're out of sight.
Mads says, maybe I should go in and represent myself as being a representative of the guild. Hold up the symbol, ask him how he's doing, ask him if he has anything new to report.
Why do you have to gain from that?
She says, tell him we're doing it. She says, telling him we're doing it in person now. Well, if we know, then we know he works for him.
Mad, sweetie, calm down.
Yeah?
I just wanted to confirm a suspicion I've had ever since we, ran afoul of that place.
Plus, he might not necessarily be fully aware of it.
Mads' lip is quivering. She's looking off in the general direction of the place, and she's, I want,
Mads?
Mads, what do you want to do?
Mads gets a look that tells Rascal, I think, exactly what she wants to do. And then she shakes her head and goes, nothing.
What we should do is stay as far away from that shop as possible. We're lucky that the last time we were there, we were just, a bunch of strangers fumbling their way through their first job. Now we're tied into the whole Waterdeep system. We're dealing with people of power, criminals, all that stuff.
Mads claps her hands together and says, we should tell Mert.
We probably should tell Mert.
Let's do that right now.
It's likely the business is tied with this guild. Xanathar Guild specifically. I mean, if it's anything like the Zentarum, then they probably own several properties throughout the city, and whoever the Xanathar is, and I'm starting to have my suspicions. Well, they want to keep an eye on things through their gazer, through such trickery as that stuffed beholder there.
Good thinking, sweetie. So do you want to go tell Mert? Or send him a message? Or...
I'm fairly certain even if he manages to shut down that location, another one close by pops up.
Oh, definitely.
But we shut this one down?
Look, it's fair enough. We'll let him know so that he knows that the Harper should be careful around the place, so no sensitive information is divulged. Though I have a sneaky suspicion he might be aware of it already. He knows more than you guys think.
And he lets... yes, it is important to keep a few bits and pieces close at heart.
Counter-argument, sweetie? Counter-argument,
sure.
Sweetie? He let me in. He let me in.
Well, I mean, you were fairly new, so this place has been in situ for quite a while.
Oh, Mert let me in.
Yes.
Yeah, but Mads, you're so much better than when we first met. You've come such a long way. I don't think you're still pretending.
Real ones, teardrops fall.
You've generally changed, sweetheart. You don't give yourself enough credit for that.
Thank you. She's crying.
You're welcome.
Let's do what we're supposed to do next.
Aye, but the point I want to make is, okay, he just flips open his notebook to the sketch of the Xanathar Guild symbol that he did ages ago. So their symbol is clearly like a gazer, or a gazer-like creature. And Ashford, you told me that gazers are dreamt up by beholders.
Yes.
So, stop me if this sounds crazy. But what if the Xanathar is a beholder?
You mean the leader of the Xanathar is a beholder?
Sure.
Oh, that is a worthwhile
That would make sense.
hypothesis.
I mean, they're
Say,
terrifying, aren't they?
Yes, Mads. When we were first in the area trying to rescue the fellow whose name I actually have forgotten, the player has. But we were trying to rescue someone. You said, and that stupid brain thing tried to attack. You said you'd seen someone, I believe.
Wait, you mean the one that hurt you, sweetie? The one that hurt you, sweetie? Over at Rascal.
Are we talking about like way back at the beginning of the campaign?
Yes, I am actually talking way back in the beginning. Yes.
Yeah,
No,
Rascal
during our
did see.
first-
Rascal did not see the Mind Flayer.
No, and but no, she's saying the brain thing, the thing that tried to hurt you, way back when we were rescuing him.
Oh, the brain dog thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that is usually. I think that might actually be associated with the Mads.
Yeah, I did. And Matt did see the Mind Flayer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you saw the Mind Flayer.
That's what I thought. And she says, "Yeah, the octopus guy."
Okay, so we have to deal with the Mind Flayer.
I mean, we were in the Xanathar Guild's hideout, so Mind Flayer probably works with the Xanathar. Yeah?
Unless he is the Xanathar.
Considering all this consistent symbology with their gazers and their symbol, and the fact that gazers are born of beholders, come on, it's not a stretch, guys.
It is at least a possibility that they might have two leaders. One of them a beholder, the other a Mind Flayer.
Okay, that's fair. I'm pretty sure that the big giant eye is top dog here, though.
Mads actually says, "Plus, I really don't think that the boss would be in a sewer."
Okay, yes, you got a point. You got a point.
Or at least not so close to the surface. Probably
Right.
deeper down where people can't get to him.
But we can.
Not anytime soon. We're not ready for that yet. But we could potentially take care of that once we're done with what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Right.
I love
Alright.
being a detective, sweetie.
Hey, I'm just glad I finally got that theory confirmed.
You're a genius.
Well, I'm a bard, and I can see a pattern from far away.
A conspiracy of music, and my sweetie figured it out. And she bends down to try to boop kiss him on the nose.
Aww! Oh, he just kind of shuffles on the spot and blushes adorably, and I was like, jeez.
Let's go.
Alright.
Anyway, we should probably leave the gates of this.
Yeah, let's stay as far away from
What
the shop as
shock.
possible. Mm-hmm.
Matt looks back over her shoulder at the shop like she wants to wave, but she doesn't.
You know what? Could I find like some sort of small like flying animal so I send a message to Mert basically informing them of the stuff beholder with the divination magic in old Zibulb shop?
Roll me a perception check.
Perception. Hey!
Okay. You have a look around, and you channel your inner Disney princess, and you see that there are loads of colourful little songbirds. There's a few little mice playing in a patch of grass nearby. There's,
I see 15 pigeons over there.
yeah, a number of pigeons. You see a couple of squirrels. And as you begin to cast your animal messenger, they all just kind of look at you, like waiting, which one? Pick me.
Aww!
Except one fat squirrel's just like, fuck off. Leave me alone. I have my walnut. Is there sitting there with this walnut going, nah, fuck off, I'm eating my food.
I will spare the squirrel, though it is tempting, because flying creatures go further, so they're faster. So, let's see. I'd like to take one of the flyers, please. Some of the pretty burbs.
Sure. You spot a cardinal, a robin, a few other ones. And as you cast your spell, one of the robins comes over and just kind of like perches on your finger and just gives you a little head tilt.
Hell yeah. Alright.
Please leave a message after the beep. Beep.
Do you want me to do the whole 25 words thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll write that out. You carry on taking the party to the trade ward.
Actually, you're not limited to 25 words for this one.
Am I not?
That's only the message and sending spell?
Oh wait, yeah, no, it does say here, you also speak a message of up to 25 words.
My bad. Okay then, so 25 words.
Yeah, I'll break up the word counter.
Old the Bob shop.
Oh, I should say, I'm specifying...
beholder.
Yeah. I should specify that I am telling it to wait till Mert is alone before conveying the message.
Robin gives you a little bob of its head.
Okay. Let's see. Old Zibulb. Shop in... What ward are we in? The South Ward, yeah? Thank you. In South Ward has...
I think you can skip the word.
Yes.
Give yourself a word extra.
Yes.
Old the Bob in.
Okay, yeah. Oh, fuck it, I just... has stuffed.
All I can think of is the American Dad episode where he poops in the pool.
Chanted with.
How party? Hope not embarrassed.
So...
Okay. Don't mind me, I'm just quickly reading the next area. So, ready when you are, Rascal?
Yeah. I'm just gonna drop it.
Alright. Little Robin blinks twice and flutters off.
And Mert will know soon enough. Right then, to the trade ward, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, how do we want to approach this guy? Do you want me to do what we did last time? That seemed to work.
Actually, a thought crosses my mind.
First, where are you going in the trade ward?
That's a good question. We do not know where the shop is. Actually, Rascal was in the trade ward for a while. Did he see Danny Mops while wandering about?
Rule me history with disadvantage.
That's fair. I was focusing on things at the time. 14?
You think you remember a street full of tailors? Maybe it was there?
I
I mean,
remember.
if all fits, we can always ask for the shop and claim that it is from that we're asking from a client from there.
Hey, fair enough. It's a good a place to start as any. I had other things in mind when going through, so sorry I can't be more specific.
So, Rascal,
Don't sweat it.
in your attempt
Yeah.
to lead the others to where you think this place might be,
Yeah,
roll me a survival check.
please roll good. Oh, shit!
Yes.
Alright! You have a few false starts. The streets are quieter than they were the last time you were here because of the rain. You're huddled up in your new cloak that you reclaimed from the reclaimed from its purpose of gazer net.
Mm-hmm.
And you finally weave your way through, if I'm on the right damn tab, weave your way through the streets and find yourselves in that street that appears to be full of dressmakers, tailors. There's a few I cannot remember the correct word for it, but basically people who sell ladies' powders, makeups, things like that. And
Pharmacist.
Oh, great! We've entered.
not quite a
The high
pharmacist. There
street.
was actually a specific word for someone who dealt with cosmetics back in the day, and I can't. It's a word that isn't used in the modern day, and I can't remember it. But anyway,
Yeah, it's still like
you have a little look down this street, and you see all these businesses. Not entirely sure if the dandy mop is around here, but I'd like those who want to look around for it to roll me a perception check.
All
Is
right,
this where
all right.
Matt's got her first fancy clothes to?
No. You got your fancy
Okay.
clothes up at the wide, where they're more reasonably priced
Okay.
things. These places here are very expensive.
What am I rolling?
Perception. Okay. You all start to have a look around. You see a hatter. You see a cobbler. You see all sorts of these businesses. Don't see dandy mops.
Okay. I choose a place I choose a hatter and make my way towards it.
Okay. This is a pristine storefront. In front of the glass windows are a number of busts that have many different styles of hats in different colors, shapes, forms, fashions, as well as you can see inside the shop there's more as well. You can also see through the window is a gentleman just straightening up the stock.
I open the door and excuse me, sir.
The human man turns to you. He's got that classical butler stance where the chest is out, the shoulders are back, the head is slightly rose, so he has to look down his nose at you. Yes, sir. How can I help you?
I had been sent by my master to to get something from him. He was a customer of a place I'm unfortunately unable to find. Maybe you could be of assistance. I know. I don't want to take too much time of your busy schedule.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay, that certainly does not work.
Sir, I am not a city directory. If you do not have business in my establishment, I must ask you to leave.
I'm very sorry. I had hoped you were able to help someone who is a little bit down on his luck, but well, in that case, you have a very good day, sir.
Yes. He's just looking down his nose at you. He's a superior prick. So
Andres just
As soon as Ashwood closes the door behind him, yeah, fuck you too.
Yeah, I totally had flashbacks to the whole, like, affair around the villa. You know, when I got arrested.
Yeah, to be honest, if I could prestigitate something, I would have second thoughts not doing it.
Yeah, I have an edict now. I'm not allowed to do that on anyone ever without their permission.
You always have my permission, honey.
That's good to know.
Well, I definitely know one hatter I'm never going to purchase from if I can avoid it.
She says, no luck. Mads looks around and says, perhaps I could try. As a professional detective, I think that they'll be more inclined to help me.
You are most certainly welcome to try.
What do you say, Berry Bunny?
Well, what I have to say is, what's your favorite perfume?
She just gazes at Rascal and says, surprise me.
Okay.
She doesn't know.
Okay, no, that's fine.
If you want perfumes, I think you are probably about as well off at the wine.
Well, because Mads explicitly gave Rascal permission to prestidigitate her, so if any guards come, she could set them straight. But he is making her smell like some sort of like spicy orange and cinnamon. I love that smell.
you make her smell like mulled wine.
Yes.
She does a little throat squirt.
It's a very pleasant smell.
And she says, and then let's see if I can go pick a store. And so Mads like goes and picks out like the one that looks fanciest and merrily struts in. Would you like me to roll performance?
If you want to try, you approach this boutique. In the window, there is this massive gown. It's a large ball gown. Think before the Revolution in France. It's like massive skirt, huge wig, many petticoats, and a huge bodice. There's just, you walk towards a boutique that has that in the window. And as you're attempting to exude an air of superiority and nobility, you trip and fall flat on your face as soon as you walk in the door.
Aww.
As you quickly stumble to your feet and like fix your hair, you notice everyone in the shop is now looking at you. There appears to be a tailor like halfway through measuring the skirt of this obviously noble lady who's here getting a fitting. And then there's a few other ladies that are basically being assistants as they're like looking at you. And you can see that the noblewoman just kind of curls her lip, tilts her head back, and just looks pointedly in the other direction, just like closing her eyes and looking away as to not sully her sight with the commoner.
Oh my god.
But one of the assistant girls just basically puts down the petticoats and comes over. It's like, are you alright, madam?
What manner of cursed doorway is this?
It's a single stone step, ma'am.
She says, yes, of course, but I could have sworn that... I thought I saw a flash of magic. Thank you for assisting. Mine, she says, I am looking for it. She says, I am preparing for a gala ball, and I am looking at a gown. I couldn't help but notice the absolutely exquisite one out front.
Oh, that is Master Craxus's finer bodices. Unfortunately, that one is actually reserved. However, we do have some in the back. If you'd like to follow me.
She says, yes, I have 2 errands today, to pick up that and to pick up a fine wig.
Oh, then please follow me. And she leads you to the side where she starts showing you all these powdered wigs. They are massive, swept back beehives.
She says, these don't seem quite right for what I need. Have you heard of a place called Dandy Mops?
Dandy Mops?
She says, someone told me the kind I wanted might be there.
Oh, Dandy Mops. I'm afraid that might not suit you. They seem to specialize more in the, more masculine style.
Oh, the wig is for a gentleman.
Oh!
That's why these aren't right.
Oh, I see.
Can they be seen through the window? Can the party be seen through the window?
Yes.
I would say sure.
She points toward Rascal and says, you see that lovely, handsome bard out there?
The halfling?
No! The other one. The handsome one.
Tabaxi?
My husband, the Kobold.
You can see just the barest hint of, oh, she's serious. Oh, quick, customer service smile. I see.
Yes, the wig is for him.
Oh, yes, well, I suppose. Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to cater to any one of his, stature, gender.
Yes, but we did say that place called Dandy Mom did. Where is that located again?
It's 2 streets to the north.
Thank you so much. And Mads looks around and literally picks a dress at random and says, that one will do for me. I'll be back in an hour.
Would you like to arrange a fitting with the master?
Yes, in an hour. I'll be back.
Oh, okay then. She's like trying to arrange a time for you, but you're just gone. She's like,
yeah, she's gone. It's positively sumptuous. I'll be back in an hour.
D, that was amazing.
Thank you. No! I'll have some.
You seemed rather agitated at some time. Did everything go well?
Two streets to the north.
I can just imagine Matt's going to think I'd be attracted to a halfling.
Yeah, she's like, ugh! She did show, that's what I was trying to convey, she was offended. No!
I mean, so I had the feeling someone was insulting me somewhere.
There is only one handsome man out there in that group.
Considering Hunter's female, so.
Hunter's a lady, yeah, so it's like...
Again, I feel slightly insulted, but not by you.
To be
because
fair,
I know where
she
your
was looking
preferences
at
are.
you from the other side of a building through a window, and this is old-style glass that's all ripply. All she saw was the statuesque physique.
So she's like, she gives him the directions, she says 2 blocks over to the north.
Alright.
Full of people of bad taste in there, huh, Mads?
No, I am going to come back at some point and get dressed from. It's the least I can do.
You won't be able to afford those dresses.
I need something hoity. She says, I need something hoity-toity.
You know, why were you pulling the dress with the polka dots in purple and green?
I love polka dots.
Anyway, you make your way north. You pass by a few more boutiques and such. You do actually pass by a place that sells lotions, potions, and scents, perfumes, and such. Rascal, your little nose, overly sensitive snoot, you have to kind of like, ooh, too strong. But eventually, you find your way to the street. There's not as many businesses on this one, but you do finally spot Dandy Mops, which is closed.
Mads looks very pleased with herself. See, there it is. I told you.
I have to concur. I have to admit, you did way better than I could.
Sometimes it takes a woman's touch. And then she says, speaking of, this place looks closed. Shall I go under an inn?
Not a half bad idea, actually.
Okay. Let's see. So, the shop itself is closed. The display window is shuttered. It's closed up entirely. You get the feeling that the shop is not just closed for the day, but closed entirely. There's an iron gate blocking the main doorway.
Well, maybe there's other doors than the front one.
Yeah, Mads is looking
Given that the portcullis is down.
I have a question before we start going full infiltration. How many people are around right now? Guards specifically.
Yes.
It is in the middle of the day. There is a fair bit of foot traffic. Mostly it's people who have their heads down in their hoods because it is still raining pretty heavily. You did see a patrol of guards in the street between here and where Madeline done her fantastic acting job. So you're not exactly in a deserted street.
But it doesn't really look like people are paying attention either.
You get the odd glance because you're a kobold in a strange district, but other than that, it's just like, oh, neat.
They just appreciate your hat, honey.
It's more along the lines of, you know how you just see something that's out of the ordinary and you're just like, oh, okay. It's just kind of acknowledging that you're there and not like, kill it, it's red. None of that.
So yeah, a better reception than around the Gohan's villa.
Pretty much, yeah.
And does it look like there's a space under the door that she could go through as a fruit fly or net?
No.
We might actually want to check for other doors.
Let's just look around the premises first.
Yes. She says, I have a suspicion now. Just because the shop's closed, it may be a front for criminal activity.
Oh, definitely.
Well,
it's a necromancer, come on.
Yeah. So Mads is looking around for an entryway that she could slip through, like on the roof, from what she could see, or anywhere like that.
Okay. The building itself is pretty much closed up tight. These buildings are pretty sturdy. These were built to last. There is a chimney up the top. A number of chimney pots. A few of them are smoking, but it would be difficult to tell from down here which chimney attaches to this shop.
Saying chimney?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's not a chimney, it's a chimney.
Chimney.
Yeah.
And Mads
It's orphan make,
gestures.
you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, Mads gestures toward the roof of the chimney and says, could try that.
Well, it's a little hard to tell which one of those is the smoking ones. At least from down here, and don't
I'm
want
sure
you
I
to
can
be
figure it
confused.
out.
Yes, but I don't want you to get confused and suddenly appear in someone's front room.
That won't be a problem.
Well, Well, hang on. Let's look to see if there's another way in first.
Yes, let's check that.
Unless
but
we
she
have
says-
actually like gone around.
She
have
says, she says, Ashward, if they call the guard because of flies in their house, then I deserve to be caught.
Well, I don't want them to slap at you and get hurt.
Yeah, that's true. Like, if you're a fly and they hit you, I'm pretty sure that just means you immediately poof back to a person, right?
And
Yes,
then
that's what
there's
happens.
And then there's
then I
a
say,
lot of problems.
Wait a minute, this isn't the this isn't the
Man,
Thank you, kind sir, for breaking my curse.
That's out of here. Yes, at last the curse is left. No, she says, this isn't the auditorium.
Mads, we can't always buy you your freedom.
Frowns at that and looks over at Rascal.
I'm
hangs her
terribly
head.
sorry. I don't want you to get into trouble.
I don't want to be a liability.
Look, you're not a liability. It is a very good idea.
Come on, guys. Let's look around for another way in before we like consider
But,
home invasion.
But maybe there's a way we can get in.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Rascal,
Not letting that. Nope. Wait.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're using
I'm a
lucky.
pop of luck. Ah! I'll take the 7.
Alright. You have a look up and down the street. To the left appears to be a lawyer's office, and to the right appears to be a usurer's office. These are more, not so much storefronts like the other street. This is more, what do you call those types of businesses? Not so much commercial, but more service-based in this area.
Well, I can't see any other way in except the chimney. Anyone else got any
Well-
bad ideas?
Well, if it is actually a connection connected to the sewers,
Did
Are
mention
there
the
any-
catacomb.
are there any manholes?
Good question.
Or any other way we might be able to get in? And that's actually what the perception is for.
You have a look around and you can't see any manholes in the main street. Hi, kitten.
Why do I feel that there's a however coming up?
No. I'm just making space for my kitten.
Mads is going to. I never like to Uber dice with like multiple people, but Mads is going to have a look. Should I roll too?
If you want. Even with the 21, there are no manholes in this main street. There are no manholes in this main street.
Well, in this case, maybe we should. Have we actually looked? I mean, a lot of stores have back entrance.
Oh, sweetie, let me try the chimney.
Is there
But
like?
let's go look at the back first. Let's go see if we can look at the back.
Kind of thought we already did.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we
Well,
had.
hang on. Did we?
No? You
We
should-
never said explicitly.
Yeah, you
Okay.
just looked up and down the front street.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm saying explicitly. Let's look round the back.
Let's see. Lucy just
Lucy
tried to
is
swipe all my dice off the table with her tail. Okay.
such is the will of Lucy.
Lie down. Lie down and I'll pet you. There you are. So, you basically nonchalantly walk around the block. Because
Yes,
these
we slidle.
are... Because these are pretty much brownstone business blocks, there's no real back to them. There's like one alley that's like one person width as part, but most of these buildings don't actually have back entrances.
Ooh, I could take advantage of that. Rascal would like to jump in that alley and take the time to ritual cast Detect Magic again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mads is all like rubbing her hands together, clapping silently while the ritual is going on. He's like, "Ooh, it's so."
Alright, so now that I've done that, just let me take another look-see at it with this magical vision of mine, and if we can find nothing else then you can try the chimney. Is that fair, Matt?
Okay.
Alright. So, you wander around back to the front of the store. You do sense a little bit of magic in the usurer's building. But other than that, you don't detect anything around Dandy Mops.
Okay. Also, enlighten the player. What's a usurer?
A moneylender.
Moneylender.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Now I know.
A loan shark.
Yeah, a Scrooge. That's what Ebenezer Scrooge was. He was a usurer.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, now I know that. In all the adaptations of A Christmas Carol I've seen over the years, they've never said that.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Scrooge
Yeah,
is
they
an
don't say it
absolute dick.
explicitly. They don't say it explicitly, I don't think, and even in the book, I think they just talk about like what he does.
Mm.
But yeah, Scrooge is a moneylender with ridiculous interest rates. Yeah, that's why his partners now closed down orphanages and all, because they gave them the loans they didn't pay back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Alright, I got nothing, so I guess the chimney is the way to go. Just be
One
careful,
question.
Mads.
One question, honey. I can only do this once more, and then I'll need a rest. Just in case, should we rest a little first? Not a long time, just enough for me to get my strength back.
Yeah, sure, we could find a place to take a pit stop.
Well, let's do that. I'll just take a little nap, and then we'll be ready. Because Mads wants both her slots in case
That
she
was
needs them.
wise, yeah.
So
She's a little scared about. She looks a little scared.
Roll me, Mads. Roll me a survival check real quick. Y'all passed a little fancy cafe a street back.
Mads tells this to the others and says, "Let's take a little break at the cafe. Maybe get something to eat.
Nice.
Then I'll be ready."
Alright, that's a plan.
Okay.
And
Second
as they're
meal out in
walking-
one day.
As they're walking, Mads says, "Should just be able to go one to the other, to the other, to the other. I swear it. Now I can't manage two. I'm disappointed in myself."
So, you make your way back a few streets. And you come back to that little cafe that Mads spotted. It is called the Gilded Swan, and it appears to be a tea room. Your party is a bit unusual compared to the usual clientele. There's a lot of ladies here having a gossip over tiny little cakes and tea. You find yourself
Mad?
at a table and you are drawing some very confused and in some cases disgusted looks.
Of
Ooh,
course.
the commoners. But after a while, a half-elf gentleman comes up and basically offers you a tea list, as well as a list of cakes and desserts.
Mads actually holds up a hand as the person comes and doesn't accept it and says instead, "Lady Madeline and company, simply bring your finest of each."
Are you sure, madam?
Quick look to Rascal, like with a grin, like, "Are we? Say we are, please."
You heard the lady? When she says she's sure, she's sure.
She nods, "I'm sure," and she casts a dour, like a dark look at the commoners people while she does it. And she's loud when she says, like, she puts on a show of, "No, Just your finest of everything, please.
Very good, Mom. I'll return in a moment. And he gives you a polite bow of the head, backs away a few steps before turning on his heel and marching back towards the...
Mads gives a fancy curtsy back and again casts another stink eye toward the commoners lady.
Okay.
We are so screwed. I'm sorry.
Real quick.
I'm just like, okay, I just like flashing forward to like Rascal handing over the tavern guy.
Okay.
Thousands of gold.
After a little while, he returns with this plate that is filled with a number of crystallized jellies.
Ooh.
And they are laid out in an absolutely exquisite design, reminiscent of a little flower garden. They're laid out in a pristine pattern. He also brings out a secondary plate that has these tiny little puff pastries that have the barest hint of a chocolate swirl on the top of them, and as well as a small bowl of dipping chocolate.
Oh God! And Mads says to Rascal, nothing but loudly again, perhaps too loudly. In fact, yes, too loudly. Nothing but the finest for the most successful tavern owner in all of Waterdeep. Rascal Skyreach,
Straight
owner
charisma.
of the tavern Rascal's Rendezvous. Very, very much like she's using her best TV pilot voice.
Roll me a straight charisma check.
Was that a
it's
save?
Darren?
That's a save.
A regular charisma check, please.
Please be better than a 6. No!
How loud and annoying. See that little creature? It's got filth under its claws.
Sir, I assure you that he does not.
And Mads is,
As you say
ignoring
that,
them.
you see this woman's eyes just kind of look down at Rascal's feet, where he does indeed have like a little bit of mud built up on his feet, as well as you all have a little bit of mud on your boots.
Yes.
And the woman's just like,
And
oh, and turns away.
You
Around
were
this time, the waiter returns with this delicate china set with a very fragrant tea. It has. I've got lucifer in my mouth. That's what happens when you pet the cat. It has hints of a citrus and almost flowery scent to it, as he sets a nice cup in front of each of you and then pours your cups for you, sets the teapot down, and then walks away.
she says, "Thank you, Wattlesworth."
The half-elf says nothing and just continues to walk away.
Yes.
So, I'm just saying it, like, the Rascal saw those crystallized jellies, his eyes went wide and his mouth started watering, because it kind of reminds him of, like, gemstones and the like. So
Yeah.
like,
I realized that's what I thought.
board.
Some of them do
And,
look like gemstones.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Yeah, and so Mads looks over at Rascal and says very quietly, "Do we eat fancy or do we eat messy?" And she casts a look over toward the others, to the rich people. Do we eat
The rich people
do we...
seem to have these tiny little plates and these itty-bitty little silver forks that are using to spear just tiny bits and put them in their mouth.
Yeah. What do you say, Rascal?
Rascal genuinely looks confused at you. That's like, how does one eat fancy? You just eat, don't you?
Well, you can eat fancy. And she says, and she like lifts her pinky and over-exaggeratedly takes a and just takes the slightest little bite of it. What's it taste like?
Did you take one of the little pastries or one of the crystallized jellies?
One of the little pastries, because she's leaving the crystallized jellies for Rascal.
There's enough there for all of you to have some of each. But the pastry, it's a very light and fluffy Sue pastry. And inside is a thick, sweet buttercream with traces of vanilla. There also the chocolate on the little chocolate garnish on the top is infused with a orange.
And Mads, but it's really good, I assume.
It is delicious.
Oh, Mads, and then Mads looks over at Rascal and says, "This is good, by the way."
Roll.
It's a what?
It's a profiterole.
I can't hear you.
A profiterole.
I don't know what that is.
Basically a mini eclair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
And then she says, "We can eat fancy." Oh, this is delicious, by the way. And then she looks to cover her mouth on the side that's near the rich, scoffing people, and then she pantomimes very tightly to her face, but she doesn't actually do it. Like making little like nom 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 faces like Cookie Monster, but she's doing it like with her hand covering her mouth, so it's like more subtle than that. She says, "We're messy."
I'm afraid at this point the tutorial is pointless because Rascal's already stuffed his face with crystallized jellies.
Then Mads starts eating like a pig. She goes to town. She is like, there's only, but she's making a show of it, is what I mean. She's like, snort, oh my gosh, this is amazing. How nice it is, she says too loudly, how nice it is to live and truly experience things instead of pretending you have a dead soul.
He takes a big gulp. Yes?
These crystallized jellies.
Drink.
They are probably about 70% sugar.
Oh yeah! Sugar rush!
They have a crispy coated, I'm sorry. Hold still. There you go, good girl. They have a crispy shell that is dusted with large sugar granules, and the inside is ridiculously sweet. It's like a Turkish delight, the texture of a Turkish delight.
Oh
That's
my
actually
God.
what how I
Nice.
imagined it.
So, Rascal has taken a bite of these, and then his pupils just go...
Sugar dilation.
Nom, 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 nom.
It's like, do you ever see Over the Hedge whenever they give
Yes.
whenever they give the squirrel the energy drink?
Happy.
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty much that. And I took it fast. You think I took it fast? I don't think I took it so fast.
That's so good, shut up there, mind. Never mind, you can't have it inside horn!
I'm just gonna put a GIF in player chat. Just a GIF in player chat for y'all.
I just
Pretty much, yes.
He can see
Bart
time
having
now.
Bart having the pure syrup slurpee slushy from Quick. So, Ashford and Hunter, are you I'm politely, or are you just joining in the spectacle?
I'm eating. Hunter's eating politely.
Oh.
Ashwood is exchanging looks with Hunter, looking over to the messy eaters, and yeah, he's going to be a little bit dainty in his way of eating.
I love Mads and Rascal so much.
Yeah, Rascal does not know how to eat properly.
Okay.
So,
So, the reactions of the rest of the establishment are mixed. There are people who are absolutely horrified at the impropriety. There are others who are making a pointed effort to ignore your presence. And there are a few others who are laughing at the sheer absurdity. It's just like, I love this. This is brilliant. Why can't I do that? It's like, there's this one particular elf. It looks like it's equivalent of a teenage elf who is in this overly formal dress. Who's just watching you going, yes, yes. While her mother's just like, don't look at them, Clara.
Once I am out of this dress, I will eat like a pig.
Out of this dress, I'll go swinging across the rooftops. Mother, you can't stop.
Did I hear don't look at them, Clara?
Yep.
Mads, with her mouth full, not looking up, says, take it in, Clara. You too can have this life. Oh, no.
You look
To
over,
be fair,
and just
it is
Mother
actually
has
an eating
clamped her
trend.
hands over Clara's ears.
To be honest, it is actually an eating trend that has swept at least Baldur's Gate. It is bound to reach here.
So,
She leans
And
back
yes,
in her-
I'm rolling deception because that's a freaking lie.
sure. Yeah, they do not believe you. Fashion from Baldur's Gate. How very droll.
Mads leans back and says, that was the most fillingest pastry I've ever had, except you, sweetie.
It really
But
was.
to be honest, he is not a pastry.
What'd you say, Jonas?
It really wasn't. A lot of them are very small and dainty. But
I know. She's saying that anyway. She's just putting on a show.
so,
Well, I mean,
She
Rascal may
wanted
not be a right. Rascal may not be a pastry, but he has a cream filling.
Well, yes, he does. Rascal lets out an obnoxiously loud burp for such a small creature, and he pats his belly.
I
The
love
pastries may be filling, but as sweet as those jellies were, they weren't as sweet as the taste of you.
I love you so much. And then she
her
leans back.
hands are over Clara's ears again.
She's patting her stomach like a satisfied ogre.
So,
It's delicious.
this
Now comes the fun part, the
would
bill.
constitute as a short rest. So you do
Excellent.
have a short rest. After
Yay.
you have eaten your fill
Nice.
and drunk the tea,
Yes,
Oh
the
no.
daintily.
the gentleman who is serving you returns. He takes your empty plates, your empty cups, and the teapot away, basically clearing up around you.
About the teapot, I'm
Yes,
pretty sure Rascal would have drunk directly from the teapot at some point.
probably.
Yeah. Gotta wash it all down.
After a
Right.
little while, he returns and sets a bill down on the table.
Here we go.
Who would like to look at the bill?
Mads,
Because it's in
Mads
it's
looks
a
at the bill.
discreet bill where it's in this little booklet and it's just set down in
Yes.
front of the person who ordered.
Mads
the food.
looks at the bill.
Okay.
Dear God, how
Well,
horrible is Jonas going to be to us? And she says, well, that seems reasonable.
Without even knowing what it is first.
No, she opens it. She looked.
Yeah, but we don't know as players yet.
No, she says, that
I
seems reasonable.
whispered to her.
Yes,
Oh.
she's not showing the other. And
Okay.
she says, she snaps her fingers to summon the gentleman back, or
He
however she's
returns.
supposed to pay. And she says, I had no idea it would be so inexpensive. What a frivolity. And then she says, but unfortunately, I'll have to retrieve it from my pig.
Okay.
He just gives you his face basically screws up in confusion, and then he quickly forces
Okay.
back into the indifferent customer service face,
She nods and
Very
says,
good,
I
Mom.
know. And then she says, Rudolph, and gestures to the top of the table. And then she says, Rudolph, and then she bends down to whisper to Rudolph the amount plus. I'm gonna say.
Frankly, it looked like he tasted butt.
Yes. Is that the amount you want?
So that's what she wants to do.
Rudolph looks like he's a little bit pouty, but he complies. He pops his cork, rolls around on the table, flailing his little legs in the air, and that amount specified falls out. Coin after coin after coin after coin after coin.
Oh no!
I am
To
going
the
for
point
62 copper, 62
where-
gold in copper.
18 platinum pieces now sits on the table.
What?
Thanks for making us broke.
Okay, no, seriously, I gotta be able to like knock some of that off with performance.
I'm afraid that isn't this kind. This is not that kind of establishment.
Are you sure? I mean, your customers look like they could use a bit of ambiance.
Let's be alive, Rascal.
Meanwhile, in the corner, a guy in a powdered wig next to a table looks at you and goes, "Oh!" He's been thinking away this entire time.
Yeah.
This little harpsichord.
Oh no! I didn't. Oh shit! Should have asked first.
She says, sweetie, it's perfectly reasonable for such a wonderful memory ever from this place.
Rascal can't help but get a sort of sly, devilish grin. You're quite right, sweetheart. You're quite right. We certainly left a impact here.
Remember Rascal's Rendezvous, everyone. Hands 180 gold.
Yep. So, you hand over the platinum pieces. Rudolph pops back to his little dimension, unless you want him to trot along beside you for a while.
No, she says, go home, Rudolph. Gives him a little blown kiss. The pig approves of your establishment. She says.
I'm glad the pig approves.
And then she gets up everyone, like tries to gesture everyone else to come with.
Jonas,
To
I'm
head out.
totally playing Club Seamus as I leave.
And then she says, well, that was delightful, wasn't it, everyone?
Indeed, it was an experience.
And as they're heading out, right before she leaves, she calls out loud as she, loudly, too loudly. She says, so, same place, same time tomorrow, everyone?
If that's not enough for you, check out Rascal's Rendezvous. Don't trust Skyreach.
Yep, exactly.
As you're
I
heading out,
heard you, doubters.
as
You'll
you're
have
heading out
fun.
playing your music, you see Clara doing like the little bop on her chair, and her mother's like, Clara!
Let your hair down. She says, she says, wine, song, and joy. And then she, heads out.
Alright.
And that's what I get for doubting us.
Yep.
So who's going to update Rudolph?
Oh, I guess that would be me. Okay.
Alright.
So, minus 180 gold pieces.
For a
You
delightful
did ask
memory.
for the finest stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. I knew we were going to be in trouble, but that's how math rolls.
Fun fact,
We're
he
going
had-
to be in trouble
he had
as
a
soon as
kitchen
you
boy.
get the bill for your dress.
He
What'd
had a
you say?
kitchen boy ready to go get the guards.
Well, thankfully it didn't come to that.
So,
I didn't precipitate anyone this time, I swear.
What, in case we couldn't pay?
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I actually thought you were going to hit us for, more than we had.
On that note, we have 444 gold pieces, 4 silver pieces, and 15 copper pieces remaining.
So,
let's go back now. And then she says, she looks for the first place that's a dark alley she can go into to turn into a let's say a bat, a small bat.
So would that be small enough to get down the chimney?
Bat?
Yeah, she can, like a little fruit bat.
Yeah, but isn't that too big to get down the
Yeah, well,
chimney?
she wants to be small enough for the chimney. I wasn't sure how big the chimney was.
Well, you could turn yourself into a dwarf bat. They're like the size of a thumb.
Yeah, that's what she was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Alright.
A little mini bat.
Okay, so you turn yourself into, I think they're called hummingbird bats.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna look that up real quick because I'm now curious. Yes, hummingbird bats are a thing and they are itty bitty and adorable.
Yep.
I think they're called nectar bats.
Yes.
Aw, they're cute.
They are so cute.
They have tongues that are twice the length of their body. Okay.
Aww. I just
So,
looked them up. They're precious.
as Mads turns into a little bat, she
Right.
rests for a moment on Rascal's snoot to get used to her new form,
Aww.
gives him a little lick, and
Oh.
then flutters off to the roof.
She absolutely does that.
So, you head up to what you think is above this the closed shop. There is a chimney stack on the left and a chimney stack on the right. I would like you to roll me a perception check to have a closer look at these. I should actually probably get
Trying to.
but where's my little red folder? I need my little red folder.
You just want bat stats, Jonas?
Yep.
You don't need them.
Bad stats. I'm just double checking to see that they don't have bonus on perception.
They get an advantage if it relies on hearing.
There it is. I have bat stats. Okay. So, you don't so much see as you sense things around you using your echolocation. So, you can't really see which one of these stacks has smoke coming from them. Sadly, smoke doesn't reflect sound waves.
Nope.
Jonas, if it's relevant, they do have blind sight, so...
Literally what I just described.
My bad!
My man.
Can she smell which one sounds like it would smell of the reek of death?
You don't smell any reeks of death, but you do smell coal and burning wood. So there are two stacks. There's the one on the left and the one on the right. Each one has 4 shafts, for lack of a better word.
She is going to pick. She's going to, like, she has to guess. She's going to try in number 2 out of 4.
Left one or the right one?
Left. I was
Okay,
meaning
so
like 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry.
you go to the left chimney stack, so now there are 4 pots. And you wanted to go through number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you perch on the edge of number 2. And you are blasted by heat and smoke. You can't even
Back
poke your
away.
head. You can't even poke your
Yeah.
head down this one.
She backs away and tries another. She tries number 1.
Same thing.
The third.
No hot air, no smoke.
And then before she goes down it, she checks on the 4th.
Same thing.
She picks number 3 and
Okay.
tries to flutter down.
You attempt to flutter down. There's not really enough room for you to spread your wings. Despite you are being such a small bat, this chimney is clogged. It hasn't been swept for a while. So at some points you have to just clamber down like a little
Crawl.
bat action man.
Yep.
You're just unleashing torrents of soot below you.
Squeak,
And
squeak, squeak,
eventually,
squeak.
making adorable little squeaky noises, eventually you feel the constriction kind of ease up. There's now a slight breeze to your back. You have reached the fireplace.
Oh, she looks around, listens around, looks around as best she can.
Roll me a perception check.
Come on, stop failing. My God, the dice are awful today for her.
So, you're kind of crawling upside down on the underside of the fireplace, just going... Because you have sitting on
Yep.
up your little nose and in your ears. But this room is cold. And it appears to be empty. You don't hear anything.
Are there any signs of wigs or anything like that?
You can't tell. Not with little bat sense.
Hmm. She decides to crawl around and try to ping. She's trying to get a rough idea. Plus to get the soot off of herself. Flap, 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 flap.
Okay.
It's gonna have a flap around.
You basically drop to the floor, shakes it off,
Yes.
and... Okay.
Yes, and then she's gonna try to have a little flap around, a little flying.
Okay. So you plop to the ground, a little of soot. Give yourself a good shake, and then fly up to the rafters. Clinging there, you now have a clearer look around the room. You've managed to get some of the soot and all off you.
Good.
You can, Ashford.
Well, Ashwood is actually knocking on the front window of the closed shop.
Mads, you hear that to your right. You hear a banging.
She tries to head toward that.
Okay. With your blind sense, you get the impression that there is a wall between you and the noise. From up here now, you get a clear sense of the room. So why don't you roll perception with advantage for me?
Okay. Perception. Mads.
Okay.
Let me
roll
try.
in. Okay.
Boom! Finally.
You almost smell the colors.
You do your little clicks, your little ear wiggles, like little organic satellite dishes, like swivel around, and you get the lay of the room. You are on a beam in the ceiling, and down below you can sense. Well, first off, you can sense where the knocking came from, which appears to be a front window that has been boarded up. There's a door next to that you can, quote unquote, see. There also appears to be a few tables below you and one big long counter and a door behind that. This room is cold, dark, and empty.
I'm gonna roll a 50, 100-sided. Yep. Mads was like 50-50 on this. She flutters to the ground and humanizes.
Okay.
She can get out again if she needs to.
You kind of squint around. There's very little sources of light in here, except for the tiniest little chink from the top of the window. And you can see that this place has probably been abandoned for a little while. There is dust on the counters. Excuse me. There's a few busts blank bus lying around. There's a few
Ooh,
wigs
okay.
littering the ground.
Okay.
The shop's been shut down for a while.
Okay. Mads immediately upon seeing that, I was gonna say she lights a torch, but you gave me what I need without her light a torch. She looks for the front door.
It's fairly obvious at the front of the storefront.
She looks around to see if there is a back way in.
There is a door to the back of the shop.
She heads to that.
Okay. You open it up.
Yes.
Okay. You open up this door and it appears to be a back room. There's a small staircase to the left. Other than that, there is a small stove, a few boxes, and a trapdoor.
Seeing the trapdoor, Mads heads to the back. Or not the back, I mean Mads heads to the back to the front. Sorry.
Goes out to the front.
And she looks to see if she can unlock it.
You have a little look at this door. Let me think. It doesn't actually specify, does it? Okay. The door itself, there's a snick lock on this, which means you would need a key from the outside, but from the inside you can turn a knob. So you could open the door from the inside. After you undo the deadbolts.
Yes, Mads very quietly undoes the deadbolts. Very quietly.
Okay.
And
Hello.
she proceeds to turn the knob very quietly. And then she opens the door just a fraction, and then steps back.
Okay. Rascal, Ashward, and Hunter, you see the door open a tiny crack.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's still an iron grate between you
Oh, no.
and the front door.
Unless...
And then does Mads see the grate because she forgot about it?
Yep.
She shuts it very, very quietly, leaves it deadbolted, and then and looks around for any regular window she could open up or unshutter.
Roll me an investigation.
Come on, Mads. You've been awful all day, so...
Okay. The only window you can see is the one at the front, which appears to be completely boarded up from the outside. There are no windows in the back.
Oh, no. Mads, what are you doing? She says... She looks around. Do the stairs go up or down?
The stairs go up.
But it's not going to help them down there. Okay. She's...
But you can hear me. That's what I do or something.
And I don't suppose there's any way for... She saw the gate. It doesn't look like the gate can be lifted from the other side or pulled open or
Nope,
like that.
it has a pretty big padlock on it.
She goes looking around. I presume she did not hear Ashward because Ashward didn't really speak, right?
Well, you just heard him mumble something towards the door there. You don't know what he said, but you heard his voice.
She's really frustrated. She...
Above game.
Sound like a raga.
Above game, does anyone have thieves?
Say...
I'm taking the silence as a no.
She frustratedly thinks for a moment, and then she just tries to head. She actually goes back up the chimney as best she can.
I have a dumb idea, Jonas.
Mm-hmm.
So the portcullis has a padlock on it, yeah?
Yeah.
I have a spare rapier that I've never been using and keep forgetting to sell. Can I try and use the rapier to makeshift lockpick? It is kobold sized after all.
No, Rascal, no more crime!
Well, we might have to if we can't get in.
Are you sure you don't want to investigate upstairs, Mads?
Oh,
I'll
well,
let- that's
well, she's actually. Not what she would do. She'd go back up the thing because she's thinking about what Rascal told her, never separate. So she does not investigate upstairs. Sorry.
Okay. Little bat
Not
form.
what she would do.
You try to clamber up the chimney again. Clambering up the chimney is harder than clambering down.
Uh-huh. I figured.
So I would like you to make me an athletics check with the bat stats. And where did I put mine?
It's
If
a
only
shame.
Matt decided to go to the top floor and through a window there.
If only Mads decided to talk to us through the open door before, like.
He doesn't want to get discovered.
Yeah, but I have the message spell.
Okay, so I would like you to make me roll me a d20 plus 2. All right. Scrabble, scrabble, flap, flap. You managed to get yourself completely clattered and soot again, but you managed to get yourself up and out of the chimney.
She floats down and then lands on Rascal's shoulder.
This very sooty, dirty bat just kind of flops on your shoulder.
Ah, hi, sweetheart. Let's prestidigitate her clean.
She is now sparkly silver brown.
She's chittering anxiously in bat. Chitter, 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 chitter.
I can't speak bat, sweetie.
Chitter, chitter to Ashward. Chitter, chitter to Hunter.
Look, Matt, I don't speak, but
Hang on.
maybe...
No, wait, you're rangers, aren't you?
Yes, but that doesn't mean that I speak with animals.
Tip, 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 tip at Hunter.
Hang
Tip,
on.
tip, tip, tip.
And
There
I
we
guess
go.
speak with animals.
Okay.
Mads relates what she saw very specifically, laying out the directions. I'm going to choose, if it's possible, if it's okay with you, Jonas, to do that in a vague way because I have no sense of direction.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You pretty much now know what I described to Mads inside. You know
And then
the
she
way.
says, "What should I do? What should I do?" Looking expectantly, this little bat looking expectantly at Rascal.
I mean, checking upstairs would seem like the obvious choice.
Maybe there you will find a spare key or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to tell you through the door. Try to find a spare key.
She says, "A key inside from the." Okay, yeah. Good idea.
Sometimes
Good
they
thinking,
have
guys.
keys inside.
And then she nods her head at each of them in turn, like, yeah. And then she heads out again.
Best of luck, sweetie! And just before we miss this opportunity, I want to give her a bardic inspiration dice, because these dice have been crap.
I really wish there was someone overseeing Rascal let go of a big bat and say, "Best of luck, sweetie."
They were. They're now walking a lot quicker away from the crazy cool.
Yeah.
So, you make your way back down the chimney, land the ground of the little flump.
She
flutter
floats
off.
upstairs this time. She flutters up the stairs.
Alright, so you flutter through the door you left open and up the stairs. Up the stairs, there's just a tiny landing and a doorway into a room above the shop. The door is open, so you can easily flutter in, and inside you find what appears to be an office/bedroom. There's very little in here. There's an old bed frame, no mattress. There appears to be a heavy iron safe against the chimney breast. There is another fireplace in this room as well. You suspect that's where the other cold pot went.
Yep.
So there's an iron safe against that chimney breast. There's also a desk. You would need to
Grab
roll,
the desk. Sorry, go ahead.
you would need to roll an investigation to look at this in greater detail.
with bardic inspiration.
If you need it, and you don't. Whew.
All right. You flap yourself down on the desk. There are a few papers scattered about.
Sneeze.
There's now like little sooty snot stains on one of the letters.
Yes.
It's just wiping your face on them. There is a few. There's a heavy iron ring with a few keys on it.
But Mads has to turn back, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These keys are bigger than your bat.
Okay. Mads, deep breath. She thinks to herself and says in bat form out loud, she says, I love you. And then she turns here.
Okay. So you...
And she takes the keys.
Back into human.
She takes the keys. Tiptoes as stealthily as she can. Clank, clunk, clank.
Pretty much. You just hear thump, 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 as she comes down the stairs.
And she, once again, very slightly opens the door as much as she can. Tries to, if any of the keys match the padlock.
There are 2 keys on this ring. One is large, heavy iron, but doesn't match the padlock. The other is very small and delicate. It looks like it's been made from an iron tin alloy. It's also way too small for the padlock.
She inspects the keys. Do either of them have any symbols on?
Roll me a quick intelligence check.
Intelligence. Mads the genius.
The big clunky one has a symbol on it that you recognized from upstairs. You don't know where, but there is something up there that has a matching symbol on it.
Mads goes upstairs again. Sorry, guys. You're asking Mads to think things through.
Well, you're the only one who could get in there, so...
Roll me a perception check.
Oh, boy.
Remember you do have bardic inspiration.
Yes.
You're thinking of Berry Bunny.
Yes.
Alright, that'll do you fine.
Yeah.
The symbol you recognized was on the safe. However, as you're looking around the room again, you do notice that there is a drawer on the desk that has a lock on it.
She uses the delicate lock key and tries to open the desk first.
Okay. The desk opens up and you find a sheaf of papers. As you flick through it, it looks like this man was in debt. A lot of debt. The shop was running in the red for years until it was finally repossessed. You see a few angry scribblings as well from the owner, just basically saying they can keep their bastarding things. I'll keep it safe from them.
She collects the papers together, rolls them and sticks them in one of her voluminous pockets.
Mm-hmm.
All the papers, because she's like, oh, this is complicated. And then she puts it, and then she tries the other lock on the safe.
Okay.
See if it has a keyhole.
It takes a bit of muscle to turn this key as you hear these huge bolts slide into place with a loud clunk. And you have to really pull to get this safe open. But as you do, you see a few... Not so much... They're basically money trays. These are trays that you're supposed to basically line out rows of gold coins for ease of accounting. They are empty. They are completely empty. However, you do notice tucked away in the corner is a leather document wallet.
She takes that.
Okay. You open it up?
Yes.
Okay. Inside, as you open it up, a heavy iron key falls to the ground. And inside the document, you find a deed for the property, which has a large, official-looking stamp that basically goes diagonal across the whole thing. Void and sold.
Mads tries to put all that stuff into the papers and the money documents and stuff in there. In her pocket with everything else. She grabs the key and looks at the key and says, "You'd better be the one." And she heads downstairs, not worrying about stealth this time. And she tries again to open the door very tightly and then.
Okay, so you back downstairs. You just appear at the door and just wield this key. With a little bit of help from Rascal, you manage to maneuver the key into the lock, and it fits, turns, and the grate slides to the side like a little accordion. And the way is now open.
Get in, everyone! Get in here quick!
As they said back in Kalimshan, open sesame.
You're always so good at manipulating. She says you're always so good opening books, Rascal.
Yeah, I am.
And you have the key to my heart.
No.
Yous all pile in.
And then shut the door behind them and the grate too.
Yep. Lock up behind us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yous
Not
lock up
cause
behind
too
you.
much suspicion.
Get in, everyone! Get in here quickly! And she says, and she hands the documents to Rascal. She says, "I found some stuff up there. I don't know. I think it means something. Read this."
So Rascal
Read this.
just got a huge pile of papers. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, this might take a bit. That's a lot of reading material.
This one is important.
If you want to quickly sheath through them, you can roll me an investigation check.
Roll good, boyo. Yeah, no.
It's enough. It's pretty.
Oh,
Can I stop one thing before then, which is that Mads specifically tries to remember the one with the angry notes and shows that one because that's
Yeah. Okay. So, the 10, it's pretty easy to flick through this. These are invoices. They are unpaid bills. They are reminders of your loan is due. Your loan is due. Your collateral will now be seized. Basically, business reports. No one's was buying his stock. There's a lot of angry notes. There was a few apologetic letters to his debtors. Then there's just angry rambling. You come across one letter where it's just basically him planning to flee the city. The one that
I could just leave here.
Was the former deed to this property. However, this one had been marked as void because the building was basically seized.
repossessed. Yeah.
Repossessed. It was seized by the bank. So, at the moment, you've no idea who owns this property. You can assume it's one of the banks in the city, but right now, it's empty. Whoever this guy was, not here anymore, and you don't know what happened to him.
And she says, "And don't forget there's a trap door."
Yeah, whoever owned this place definitely no longer does. It seems like they had a really rough time of it, and it's a sad story of a tragic end. Unless he decided, hey, I'm so pissed off, I'm gonna be a necromancer now. But,
Well, in that case, it still has a bad end.
We should still see the trap. We should still check out the trap door, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. But did you see anything else worth taking note of, or document?
Not really. She lays out for them what she saw. That's just about it.
There are a bunch of wigs just kind of littering the place. Some
Mads
poofy,
takes one
some straight, some eccentric powdered white with large ringlets and curls.
Why is that one actually blue?
Mads says,
There's a few random colors.
Yes. I have noticed.
She says,
Why am I suddenly turning into Binksy?
She says, let's check out the trapdoor.
Yeah, Rascal puts the documents down. I don't see any point adding those to my inventory.
Nah.
Mm,
She says, it's like a really sad novel.
Unless you want to keep them as an example of how not to run your business. Useless.
I think we're good. So I have a
Uh,
question.
Yes.
yes.
I did roll for lucky, but you said it wasn't necessary, so should I
You
keep the luck
your
point?
Keep your luck point.
Thank you. Thank you,
I am
you
a
are
kind
generous.
and generous DM. So,
So, trapdoor time.
you can have a look at the
Yes.
trapdoor. What these do.
Yes.
Is my detect magic...
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't suppose my detect magic from earlier will be active by this point, considering how long...
say the tail end of it is still there.
Okay, is there anything
just
magical
about to
about the
run
trapdoor?
out. Nope.
Okay.
Mads looks tired from lugging things around and turning cranks.
She's
She's
tired
like-
from having to think.
Yes, that's exactly it, because she's not used to that. Those muscles are really, really, really atrophied.
Aww.
Let's be polite about that. And she's like, maybe open it. Maybe we should open it. And she like moves to try to do it.
Oh,
But
no,
she's-
I got it, sweetie. You take a breather.
Whew.
Alright, what am I rolling to open this thing, since I am a tiny lad?
Mads is gonna help.
Just pull it
So
over.
am I.
So
Sorry,
each of
Jonas?
you's put a hand on the large metal ring in the trapdoor and give it a heave.
Yeah.
You hear the wood creak and groan as it starts to lift up, and it explodes in your face. No, I'm not joking. It opens up and reveals a set of stone steps down into a cellar.
Look, like what I did with the Tall Acid Trap in Hamanacha, right?
We are so. Mads says very quietly. She says, "We are so daring, daring detectives, rascals, renovator."
Feels like a rampage right now.
Rascals reconnaissance, rascals rescuers, rascals rendezvous, rascals renovators, rascals
Rascals
rogues.
We someday we open up a moving company, and Matt would suggest we're going to call them Rascals Relocators.
And then she's actually doing this is in character. She's like saying all these different things as they go down the steps, and then looks down and says, "Rascals rapier."
Okay. So,
And
Rascals
actually,
broken
I was
Sometime.
saying that in character as well.
and
Nice.
a bit of a foul smell starts to fill the room as you come down here.
Does it smell of
not-
death?
I was gonna say,
Not so
Mads,
much
the nose.
death as it is night soil, sewage. Shit.
Oh. So, familiar to Rascal then.
Yeah.
And Mads says, inhales deeply and goes, cozy.
Okay. So as you come down,
Smells familiar.
there's nothing really of interest in this room. There's a desk that has a small notebook on it, but it looks like it's a receipt book, as half a page is missing. But other than that, there's nothing really interesting. There's a few boxes of stock behind it and cells, so there's damp, limp wigs in a few of the boxes. There is this door, however.
Before we carry on, yeah, Rascal's putting detect magic back up.
Sure.
We are dealing with a necromancer.
As you have a look at this door, it is locked, iron bound, and there's a sign mounted on it that reads, in common, sewer access, authorized city officials only.
Is there a space underneath it?
Mads, why are you trying to fly under everything?
Now, hang on, don't we... did Mads mention the other key she got?
Not yet.
She got a safe key, the desk key, and the padlock key.
Oh, so
Yeah.
none of them would even fit this door. Okay.
So,
Was there a space underneath it? Sorry, go ahead.
no.
Okay.
With that, I think that's where we'll end the session.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
So,
exactly
here's the
all.
thing. Real quick. So, are we going to actually be good boys and see if we can get official permission to be down here? Or are we going to break in?
That's
I
up
mean-
to you.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
we are harpers.
technically speaking, we've already broken in.
Yeah.
Yes, but on the other hand, we are providing a service to a bank that wishes to hand off a property that they can currently not sell because no one has access to it.
Why the heck does, like, the basement of a wig shop have access to the city sewers?
Because
Well,
the
it
shop
wasn't-
owner is not
Sorry.
good at business.
So,
Yes, he's a shoddy businessman.
This
play
is
of
so...
the game.
Messy eating.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the whole, like, thing, again, disrupting the status quo of hoity-toity folk. But this time I didn't get arrested.
Mad
say it again.
tipped and
I would actually nominate myself, failing to get the information from the hat maker's clerk.
From the Hatter.
Yeah, from the Mad Hatter, because
And,
he's mad not to help.
questions, theories, revelations?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it's right in front of us.
Alright, share your thoughts, D.
No, just the door.
Oh,
I have questions, thoughts, and theories about that door.
okay, I have a theory. Yeah, the signs are fake. It's just there to dissuade people.
Oh,
Maybe.
Well, why would this be in the basement of a wig shop?
well, what I'm suggesting is that it is actually connected, but it's connected to more Zentarum hideouts under the city.
Yeah, but either way, my point stands. Like, the sign to, like, say, like, hey, unless you're... keep away. Like, that's just meant to spook people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, we know someone who has been in the sewers, who has been there in unofficial business. They work for us.
Ah.
They would know how to get into there.
Bob and Odie and Bert didn't really spend much time in the sewers. They don't really know their way around.
Well,
They just kind of ducked in there to avoid people until it was safe for them to scurry around at night.
Aye.
you
Tis
you
the
had
Kobold
to
way.
ruin the theory. Okay,
It saves us time.
all right. Well, there's
Well,
lot-
I'm just wishing that A, we bought thieves' tools, and B, I prepared knock. That would be really helpful right now.
Hey, Rascal, you remember the three fellows with the young girl?
Yes?
You wouldn't think one of them would have an acquaintance who just happens to have access to the sewers.
Maybe. And they did
It's
say they owed you
possible.
a favor.
Ooh. You know what? Sure, why not? Maybe we should take a shot on that. We'll see next session.
Yeah.
Good idea, actually.
So,
Which
going
means
on the
Jonas
list,
has to get...
it's going to be a good night from me. Oh my god, I've been yawning through this entire game. I've been up since 6:30 this morning. It says good night from me. It's going to be a good night from the Koboldy boy.
Good night, everybody.
A good night from the... What are you doing? No, stop that. A good night from the adorable little bat, the soot bat.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
A good night from the hard put upon halfling.
Good night, everyone.
And good night from Law and Order, Katie.
Good night, everyone. Sorry I wasn't very talkative tonight.
That's a worry about it.
Hunter's awesome.
Yeah, Hunter has just been watching the chaos unfold in silent indignation.
Hey, at least she got 2 people a potential new lease on life.
Yeah, I mean, look
Not
at this
having to
way.
do criminal stuff.
Hunter kept her dignity this entire session, unlike the rest
Yes.
of us.
That's you know what
I
I'm going to
just
say. That's
picture
later.
Hunter cupping the little plate and using the tiny little 2-pronged fork to eat the little sugared candies. With the little
Actually, it's
pinky
a
out.
it's 3-pronged, and they're arranged in a triangle.
It's just this little thing, and then just using the tiny little napkin to just dab daintily at her lips, while the other's like.
Hey, come on! It's not like everyone decided to indulge in it.
Yeah, it was just Rascal and Mads that were eating floppy. The rest were.
And yes, I was actually trying to excuse them.
Alright, so I gotta go to bed. So,
Yeah.
good night, everybody, and we'll see you.
Good night.
Sadly, we may not have a game on Tuesday because our DM is still going to be away, but we'll probably be back on Thursday for Vorsal. So,
It should be
Yeah.
fun.
good night, everybody.
Good
Good night,
Good
guys.
night.